BMT. It's my baby mama, I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coat. It's my baby mama, she be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies and doing setups. It's my baby mama, I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coat. It's my baby mama, she be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies and doing setups. Hey mama, yep. I don't know why I can't have no peace. You got child support, yep. You got sole custody, yep. You alienated me from being a father, yep. So what the fuck you want? This some bullshit. I'm just an average man with an average life, trying to move on with my life. Baby mama live a savage life. I wish you'll leave me alone. I pay my child support. Yep. She got sole custody. My God, why she don't let it go? Why is my baby mama always harassing me? She think I have more money. No. Why is my baby mama always harassing me? Will you please just let me be? So I come on home with a freaking eye, ready to pump and dump. This chick is out of sight. Baby mama calls my phone. Man, what you want? I want that child support check. Man, talk to the state next. She said, what you doing with that stank ass bitch? I said, how the hell do you really know this? People say I'm crazy. I be out there here now. But when I turned around, there she go peeping through my window. Why is my baby mama always harassing me? She think I have more money. No. Why is my baby mama always harassing me? Will you please just let me be? Baby mama, yep. Baby mama, yep.
Yeah.
Baby mama, yep. Yo, why is my baby mama always harassing me? One more again. No, why is my baby mama always harassing me?
Tell me, is it just a dream?
No, why is my baby mama always harassing me? She think I have more money. No, why is my baby mama always harassing me? Will you please just let me be?
Yeah, Cows gang. One thing about these baby mama tears, they would never, ever stop harassing. You can't make this shit up. Shit, you already know what it is. Yes, sir. We're gonna definitely get it started. Y'all may be seated up in this motherfucker. Happy holidays for those that celebrate it. It's all good, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here on the couch. We're gonna definitely have a good dialogue today. We're gonna cook. You know what I mean? I see David say I'm free, BMT free. Shout out to David, he's BMT free. Yeah, man. We're gonna definitely have a good dialogue, some real teachable moments, some shit that a lot of people have been misguided. A lot of them has been sent the fuck off. A lot of them has been used, and really they was just going along to get along, some shit they really didn't know the truth about why this Roe versus Wade really came into play. You know, who was the real heavy hitters behind the scene? What is this Jane Roe? Who was this motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? What was her reasoning for all this? Is it true why she's doing what she's doing? Oh, we're gonna talk about that. Zilla say you need that shirt. Hey, go on the bottom, you go on the website, brother. and you click on that, you get any color. It's certain colors. You get how you want it, blue, or take red, you got black, some other colors, you get that. The hat I got on deck, but you go on there and you know what I'm saying, do your thing. So and we got Baby Mama Terror shirts as well. But we're gonna definitely cook. I couldn't do this by myself. I had to get my homegirl Dallas D to be involved because she's definitely heavy when it comes to this Roe versus Wade shit. And I hope y'all looked at the thumbnail because the person that you see in there is actually Jane Roe. Jane Roe, you know, this is Jane Roe. This is one of the reasons why Roe versus Wade has came into play. And that's not even her real name, but we're gonna get into it when we watch the documentary and talk about this shit. And y'all see Malcolm X in the thumbnail, right? And the reason why I got Malcolm X in the thumbnail because I want y'all to understand.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Yes, a lot of motherfuckers been sent the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be a good one. But shout out to everybody who's able to tune in. You know, it's the holiday. People out there with the family, people barbecuing, people traveling out of town, people coming back from the town and everything. So, you know what I'm saying? It's all good. You know, me, I'm just sitting on the couch. And without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and bring in my homegirl Dallas D. Y'all know who Dallas D is. She definitely talk about, you know what I'm saying, the laws, these baby mama terrorists, and yeah, she's a 100% pick me, if that's what you want to call it, because they hate her. So we got Dallas D coming in all the way from Dallas, Texas. What's going on, Dallas D?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. How you doing, Mr. Palmer?
Oh, I'm good. You know, I just got through sleeping on the couch. You know what I do for a living? Shit.
Hey, I'm still doing that. I'm not celebrating the holiday either, but to anybody who is, happy Memorial Day to you. And of
Yeah.
course, to all the vets who have lost their lives in fighting wars, definitely salute to all of you.
Yeah, because Memorial Day was for Black military soldiers. People don't know that either. They think, you know, Memorial Day was created by the white man, but that wasn't the case. But I mean, everybody used Memorial Day for soldiers, people who they lost and their families, stuff like that. But it was started by military for Black military soldiers, just so you know. So
Right.
yeah, shout out to Abdul for the $3 donation. He says hashtag pump it up. Shout out to my man Abdul. Yeah, y'all show some love because it's gonna be some real shit that we're gonna be talking about, man. Real, man. Yeah, Jane Roe, setup artist. Yeah. We finna definitely get this thing started. So, Dallas D, let me ask
Yes,
you
sir.
a question before we get this thing started. What made you go all the way into the depths of this this Roe versus Wade shit? I want to know.
A lot of it is centered around the inequalities that a lot of men face. I've watched a lot of my male friends, family members being drugged through this whole family court system unjustly. And the biggest argument you hear from women on this whole Roe v. Wade fight is about women fighting for being equal to men. But if men want to be equal to women, or women want to be equal to men, then women have to be able and willing to suffer the same consequences as men. So as you start listening to all these arguments as to why women support this and men shouldn't have a say so in this, to me that is complete and utter bullshit. But we're gonna go into why that's bullshit. So, but yeah, it was about the disparities and me watching a lot of my male friends and family members actually suffer through the child support system.
I do understand. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, because I got the document you sent. How you want to start this?
Well, I'll just start. So what I'm going to do is I'll go into a brief little synopsis about what started Planned. So we're going to start from the beginning. We're going to tell the entire story about the creation of Planned Parenthood, the actual foundation, the foundation called NARAL, who started this whole movement. We're going to talk about the attorneys that were involved in the Roe case. We're going to talk about who Jane Roe was. And from there, we're going to tie all this together to show you all why men have a dog in this fight, and why, if they do overturn Roe, one, that's what equality really looks like. And two, that if they're going to redo Roe, they either need to make it applicable to all American citizens, because as I stated before, it was predicated on gender neutral ideologies. So I want to start by, we're discussing today, and it's not just to discuss the leaked documents that indicate that Roe might be overturned, but I want to identify the lies behind the most controversial Supreme Court decision in American history. This decision was even bigger than the Dred Scott decision that discussed about Black men being 3/4 of a person in America. But most importantly, like I said, why a man does have a fight in this abortion fight. So as I stated before, and many times you can see it on my platform, I've always said this decision behind Roe v. Wade was predicated on gender neutral ideologies and constitutional rights that apply to every American citizen as outlined by the 14th Amendment. And the 14th Amendment states that no state shall deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall they deprive any person of equal protections of the law. So that's what this whole identifying all the lies behind Roe is about, and why it should be applicable to all persons, and everyone should have the right to terminate or abandon their parental responsibilities, because that's what abortion is. It's allowed women to terminate their parental responsibilities even after the mistake.
Right. So my man Charles D. Curry said, man, this sounds like it's gonna be deep. Sheesh. We finna get a college lecture. Yeah, it's finna be definitely some lecture and shit, man. Shout out to my man Zilla for the $5 donation. They said a little something for the collection plate. Yeah, definitely. Appreciate it, man. It's holiday season, goddammit. Definitely, because we finna come with some real shit. So, yes, from what she's saying is, since these baby mama terrorists say, hey, I don't want to be responsible. I don't want to be a mother. I don't want to take care of no child, stuff like that. The man has that right too.
Right. So we can start with the creation of Planned Parenthood. So of course, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but of course, everyone knows who Margaret Sanger is. I know your audience knows who she is. But in her autobiography, Margaret Sanger delivered a speech at the women's branch of a KKK meeting in Silver Lake, New Jersey in 1926. A lot of people know that. The problem is now you got a lot of people that are saying that her commentary was racially motivated, that she had plans to practice eugenics or, to eliminate the Black community through Planned Parenthood. So there's a lot of controversy about that, and a lot of it derived from the Negro Project that she actually started with W.E.B. Du Bois. And they opened 4 clinics in poor Black neighborhoods for Planned Parenthood.
Wait a minute. Back up. Because you said something about W.E.B. Du Bois. Say that again.
She actually started the Negro Project with W.E.B. Du Bois, and they opened up 4 Planned Parenthoods in poor Black neighborhoods. Now, a lot of people say that's why this is racially motivated. The issue is you have a lot of historians now that are debating whether or not it was actually racially motivated or not. A lot of historians are actually stating that she only believed that we should stop the multiplication of unfit individuals. My problem with that is, while Margaret Sanger was fully aware of what the KKK stood for, she was fully aware of what they advocated for, and she was fully aware of the extreme violence that they were capable of. So even if you didn't have racial intent, even if this wasn't supposed to be directed towards the Black community, for you to go speak at a KKK rally about who is considered unfit, when she talked about people being unfit, she talked about stuff like stability, education, access to certain things, wealth, land. So in the early 1900s, what group of individuals was most impacted by those factors? The Black community, right?
Yeah, the Black community. But here's the problem I have. What everybody saying is not racially motivated. Once you over there doing public speaking for the KKK, and it's not to destroy the KKK or dismantle the KKK or tell the KKK we need to be all together, we already know it's not. It was racially motivated. But here's the problem I have. I got to go back to W.E.B. Du Bois, because he's supposed to have been one of the pillars of the Black history and the community. I know he didn't get along with Marcus Garvey because he looked at. But see, what I did learn about W.E.B. was he's one of the Boulets, for one. 2, he didn't have no problem being underneath the white man. See, he just wanted to be. He wanted to be close to the white man versus equal. He didn't mind being underneath the white man as long as they was able to do whatever they wanted to do, as Black people. And then they was more of the uppity, sophisticated, wearing a suit ass niggas. And that didn't do that is, beneath them. And that's why I said about the Black manosphere, because they was coming with that same objective. You didn't wear a suit. Oh, you was still a low grade, pookie, broke, and dusty, and low tier. See, this is why I had an issue with that right there, because it started back then with between W.E.B. and Marcus Garvey. They looked at him as a buffoon. You stupid. You want to go back to the motherland. You want to get people to leave this racist ass country. So you stupid. Like me, I'm stupid. I'm a dumb nigga that sleep on the couch because of my stand on this unjust ass system. So I want y'all to understand that WEB basically brought white supremacy in the front door. He actually agreed with this shit.
They claim that the reason why he was involved was to bring black doctors and to actually put these in black communities because they didn't have access to contraceptives and things of that nature. That's what they claim. They claim it wasn't because he was supposed to be supporting white supremacy. They claim it was just so this education can reach the black community too. But like I said, if it's about you eliminating those that are unfit or not having children by those that are unfit in the early 1900s, who would have been classified as unfit? The black community.
Well, actually, they should have started with the white trailer parks. Why she ain't go starting over there?
According to her, she was preaching this gospel everywhere. And she took the KKK up on their invitation because I read snippets of her book. I didn't read the whole thing because it's making me sick. But the snippets that I did read, she took their invitation because she just wanted to spread awareness to everybody. And any audience was an audience, in her opinion. Now, while I can understand that concept, like I said, you were fully aware what the KKK stood for and what they were capable of. So for me, that's a bullshit argument for me. So y'all can believe what y'all want. You can't tell me she didn't have reason to suspect that her teachings would not be used to target the black community.
Exactly. And it is, because who got the highest rates in abortions?
The black community, black women.
Okay.
We gonna get off into that too.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to stay on this, but once you said WB, and I'm like, wait a minute, he brought this bitch over here? And he agreed and helped set up this shit? Oh, okay. You just never agree without doing research. Okay. Continue.
All right, so now let's talk about the founding of NARAL in 1969. So NARAL was the National Association to Repeal Abortion Laws. It is one of the oldest if not the oldest, abortion advocacy group in the country. They actually coined the phrase pro-choice, and that goes back to propaganda. Pro-choice was a word they came up with because it sounded good. It sounded liberating. It sounded like it was about freedoms. Who would support that? So they actually coined the term pro-choice. So now called NARAL Pro-Choice America. But what's interesting about them, and this is another reason why back to every person has a dog in this fight, including men. If you go to the NARAL Pro-Choice America site now, on their website, they listed that they are looking for support. Of course, you know that means donations to continue to elect leaders that will, in their own words, fight for reproductive freedoms for everybody. That's on their website. Reproductive freedom for everybody.
Okay, so that was started. I'm looking at the document you sent. It started in 1969, and the founders, the mission, and their goal was, hey, if you want to have a child, you have that right. Pro-choice, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That I never heard of NARAL. I just heard of pro-choice. Pro-choice groups that went out here protesting against, abortions. Okay.
Yeah, they actually coined that phrase, pro-choice. So let's talk about the founders and the people who actually had input on this. So the first one, and we ain't gonna focus on this one much, was Ernesta Ballard. She was a feminist. She was the founder of the National Organization for Women, and she was named the godmother of Philadelphia feminism.
What's her name again?
Ernesta Ballard, Ballard.
Oh, let me. I didn't get that one. Let me search that one.
She to me, she didn't have a significant role in the Roe v. Wade case, but she is listed as one of the founders.
Okay, what's her first name again?
Ernesta.
Oh, Ernesta.
Yeah, but she's named the godmother of Philadelphia feminism.
Was she Hispanic?
You know what? I'm not entirely sure if she was Hispanic or not.
She don't look like.
I can't say that I haven't done a lot of research on her because to me she didn't have a leading role in this whole Roe v. Wade movement or this pro-choice movement.
I understand. Okay.
The next one, and to me she wasn't as big. She had a huge impact, but not when it came to the lies. So Betty Friedan. Betty Friedan was also a founder of NARAL. She was a Jewish woman. She was the leader of the women's rights movement. She
Hey,
was
wait.
yeah, that's her. She was
This
a
is Nesta, right?
that's her Nesta.
Okay, I just want y'all to know who Nesta is, even though she's not really a big pillar, but we need to show the face anyway. Who's the other person?
Let's go to Betty Friedan.
Betty. Friedan or Sedan?
Friedan, Friedan. So Betty Friedan was Jewish. She was the leader of the women's rights movement. She was a feminist author and activist.
Shit. This motherfucker ugly as fuck.
A lot of the feminists back then were.
Hey y'all, this is what's her name again?
Betty Friedan.
She look like a goddamn shit.
Yeah, but at the time, she was actually the leader of the women's rights movement. She was a feminist author and activist, and she was actually credited for sparking second wave feminism in America.
I see her. I see why she feminist.
She joined NARAL in 1970 after she was solicited by Larry Lader and Bernard Nathanson. And we're going to talk about them too. But the reason why they solicited her, the reason why they wanted Betty Friedan to be a part of NARAL is because they wanted to use her for political and media coverage. Since she was responsible for sparking second wave feminism, all the camera crews were following her. Everywhere there was a protest that she started, they were all following her. So they actually went and sought her just so they can have the political and media coverage for this entire movement. So that's why she was important.
So she was the one who orchestrated the second wave feminism.
Yes, she was the leader of women's rights back then.
I want y'all to understand this. Uncle Fester is was the leader and the pillar of this second feminist wave. Okay.
So before I get to the two that I want you to show their picture of, I'll talk about Cyril Means. Now, he's not listed as a founder, but he played a very integral role in where we are with Roe v. Wade. So he was a law school professor. He was the counsel for NARAL. What was interesting about him was he was accused of falsely documenting abortion history in the 60s and the 70s.
Uh-oh. What's his name again so I can type it up?
Cyril Means, Cyril. Means, Means.
Cyran?
Il.
Oh, IL. As soon as I type the name, it says abortion. Cyril.
Right. Right.
White dude, right?
Uh-huh.
Is he a judge?
He's a law school professor. I don't know what he's doing now, but back then he was a law school professor.
Yeah, I think I got it. I think this is him right here.
But what's interesting about him is he's a historian, and he was accused of falsely documenting abortion history between the 60s and the 70s. He actually wrote that women enjoyed liberty of termination from the year 1607 to 1830, which they later determined was false. He actually wrote for the Doe v. Bolton Supreme Court case that we're going to show later, and he actually wrote for the Roe v. Wade case. Now, what's interesting about him writing for the Roe v. Wade case was that his articles and published works were used not only in that decision, but Justice Blackmun cited his work 7 times in that opinion. And he was the only historian that they mentioned in this entire case. But this is the man that was accused of falsely documenting abortion history in America.
Oh,
but
wow.
All his sightings and teachings and documents were used to determine Roe v. Wade.
Okay. So he was basically a male feminist.
Right.
Yeah. Simple.
Which most of these guys were.
No,
so
they are. Yeah.
Now let's pull up a picture of Larry Lader.
Okay, hold on. Before we do that,
Better male cool.
Okay.
So for Larry Lader was actually the one who launched. If you go to NARAL, he's not listed as a founder, but he's the one who actually launched NARAL. And he's called the father of the abortion movement. He wrote the first nationwide book on abortion. And now what's interesting about him is he was actually mentored by Margaret Sanger. And the reason why he launched NARAL was to continue her work. But
I
yeah,
want you to repeat yourself that he was the what?
he was mentored by Margaret Sanger.
I want y'all to take heed and understand exactly what she's saying about this important motherfucker here. He was the mentor of Margaret Sanger.
And had a very important role in how all this went down. So on top of being mentored by him, and he launched NARAL to continue her work, he supported abortion on demand. Now, abortion on demand is going to be important as we get off into this case. But he supported abortion on demand. He initially planned to fight each state's anti-abortion laws, and they started, and I know one of them was New York, which is where Dr. Nathanson opened up his first clinic. But he determined that that would take too long, and so they needed a Supreme Court case so that they could overturn it at the federal level. So he also, now the biggest key he played in all this is he supposedly leaked quota stories about limits on abortion to Time magazine. He also reportedly leaked fake stories on the number of illegal abortions that were happening per year. He actually leaked a story that said that there were 1 million illegal abortions being performed every year. And we're going to show the real stat about that later too. But that was a lie.
Of course, the lies they take. Matter of fact, let me let Denzel speak for Malcolm X on this.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
And notice we ain't got to the Jane Roe bullshit yet, but go ahead, sis. Go
Right.
ahead.
So, but remember that he leaked the story that there were 1 million back alley abortions or illegal abortions before Roe v. Wade. He also leaked stories that 87% of doctors were in favor of abortion and that 60% of Americans supported abortion. Now, they claim the reason why they put out those fake stats was because of propaganda. In America, nobody wants to be as part of the minority. So when they started publishing all these stories about 87% of doctors approve, 60% of Americans approve, the people who didn't approve don't want to be a part of the minority. And in the early 70s, we're just coming off of civil rights. Everyone understands what it means to be a part of the minority.
Right. You part of a losing battle. You part of the mistreated, the unfortunate, and all this shit. Just like us as men, we are the minority.
Right. And so he I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you good. I'm like, go ahead.
Right. Now he's also the one who used the plan or stopped the Planned Parenthood lawyers, Sarah Weddington and Linda Coffey. We're gonna get to them too, who had never, this is the interesting about these two lawyers. They never had tried a case before the Roe case. Never. They had worked in law, but they had never actually tried a case before Roe. But that was intentional. He needed people that he could control. He needed people that were desperate for work. And that's why he went and sought Linda Coffey and Sarah Weddington. So now let's go to the guy that had a huge influence, Dr. Bernard Nathanson.
Hey, everybody's up in here. Hit the like button. You know, that's one thing that is free. You know what I'm saying? Please hit the like button. We come with some real shit. Now, who you say?
Bernard Nathanson, doctor.
Did I download that? No, I don't think I did. You know his name, Bernard.
Yeah, just look him up. Bernard Nathanson. Nathanson.
Spell again, you know, from Cottage Grove.
Nathanson.
What kind of names these people got?
He's Jewish. And that's now him being Jewish is very important. That's going to be very important to this.
Wait a minute. So far, it's been two Jewish people. One's a man, one is a woman. And I thought they said Jewish people was for black people.
Hey, him being Jewish plays a very important role in how all this went down too.
Okay.
Or why he took the stance he took. So for Bernard Nathanson, and we're going to actually watch a documentary that he produced too. He was Jewish. He became an obstetrician and a gynecologist after a girlfriend of his in 1949 had a back alley abortion that, according to him, led to her death. So she had an abortion. Now, the reason why I say him being Jewish is important. His girlfriend at the time was a white woman. So he was taking her to his parents' house to introduce her, but that wasn't being reciprocated. So when she got pregnant, she told him, I can't tell my dad about this. So because it was illegal where they were, he paid for her to have a back alley abortion, and just so happened that she didn't make it. So he decided to get off into the whole gynecology, obstetrician because of that. So and I get it, but he allowed his emotional response to basically lead us down the path we are today. So he lost his girlfriend because of a back alley, and he decided he wanted to help women going forward so that no other woman would have to suffer through that.
Better milk. Ooh.
Okay.
So he was also known as, back then they called him the Scraper or the Abortion King, because the Scraper. He was nicknamed that because this man, in his few year career in having an abortion clinic in New York, because they overturned it in New York first. When he had his abortion clinic in New York, this man is responsible for overseeing over 75,000 abortions and made over $20 million back in the 70s.
So I want you to repeat that again for the people to really understand about how important this dude is when it comes to Roe versus Wade. Say that one more time.
Opened up the clinic in New York, performed over 75,000 abortions, making over $20 million in the 70s.
In New York, y'all.
Right.
And that's where the worst family court system is in the United States of America. Oh, what a coincidence.
Right. What a coincidence.
What a coincidence. Go ahead, Dallas.
So he also provided medical research to prove their opinion. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So later on in life, he actually wrote a book titled Aborting America. Now, what's interesting is in that book, he claims himself, in his own words, that he leaked fake stats to the media outlets such as the Washington Post and the New York Times. He also said that he paid money for abortion-favored topics to appear in TV shows and films. So back to propaganda.
So he basically did the marketing and promotions for the shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah. But he was later in life, he was baptized as a Roman Catholic in 1996 after realizing that he was wrong about abortion. But what's interesting is this man lost two children to abortion. The first one in 1949 when he paid for the back alley. And then in the second one, y'all are not going to believe this, but he aborted it himself.
Oh, I believe it. I believe
it. And maybe it was because he started reminiscing about the previous girlfriend that lost a child, and he felt like, hey, it's safe with me. I know what I'm doing. You're going to have all the best of technology, the best of this. You trust me, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that's why he did it. I don't know. But according to the movie that was written about his book, that kind of broke him after he actually aborted his own child. But later on in life, when he went to the pro-life side, and we're going to talk about that too, he actually restricted his practice to only issuing abortions when there was a safety concern for the woman. That was before he decided to stop performing abortions altogether in the late 70s, because he realized that what he was doing was wrong. But him leaking all the fake news stories played a huge role in where we are today with Roe and why that decision was made in 1973.
So basically you telling me that Mr. Hyde decided to go back to be Dr. Jekyll.
Yes. Now, whether or not he was aware of some of this stuff prior to, according to him, the advancement of technology is the reason why he changed his mind. But we're gonna get off into that a little bit later. But yeah, he switched back and he went to the other side later on in life.
Yeah, most definitely. Y'all remember who this motherfucker is, because this is the one who created the leeway for Roe versus Wade, and he did over 70,000 abortions.
75,000.
I'm sorry, 75,000 of abortion. Then finally, he had an epiphany, and he now says it's not right.
Right.
Okay, so I just want y'all to know who these key players are in this motherfucker. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So the last three key players, two of them are going to be the attorneys. So let's talk about Miss Linda Coffey.
Miss Coffey.
So Linda Coffey was actually the brains behind the entire Roe v. Wade case. She was a Planned Parenthood attorney out of Dallas, Texas. She was a closet alphabet. So there's that.
Yeah, I got to cut you off. I like saying it. She is a alphabet.
Yes.
Mostly
she's a closet closet alphabet.
Yeah, because back in the day, they couldn't in the 60s, you couldn't dare go out there and say use an alphabet because different circumstances would be different than what it is today. So you praise now for being alphabet. Back then, you got stones thrown at you. But you're gonna see a lot of these key player women who are these feminists who help this Roe versus Wade shit that are alphabets. Just let you know. Go ahead. Let them know what Miss Coffee is.
Yes. All right. So on top of her being a closet alphabet and a Planned Parenthood attorney in Dallas, she actually is the one who came up with the pseudonym Jane Roe. So after she was the one who found Norma McCorvey. The reason why they gave her the pseudonym of Jane Roe is because they didn't want the opposing attorneys looking into her background. And we're gonna show y'all why.
Well, I don't want to go too far. They don't know who Norma is.
Oh, my bad.
They don't know who Norma is.
We have to find out.
Yeah.
So they coined that she came up with pseudonym Jane Roe. She came up with Jane because Jane was an average name. There were tons of Janes back then, and Roe because of the whole John Doe thing. So after she did that, it was to keep opposing attorneys from finding out who Jane Roe really was. She actually is the one who's responsible. She wrote the initial petition to the courts in Dallas, and she filed the suit in Dallas, which is odd because Jane Roe lived in Houston. So the reason why the suit was filed in Dallas is because she actually knew one of the justices that sat on the bench in Dallas.
Oh, that sounds like when it comes to child support. Now, I want y'all to understand that this lawsuit with the Roe versus Wade came in Texas. Now,
yes.
The person who is Jane Roe, she is from Houston, and her real name is Norma. What? Norma Ray?
Norma McCorvey.
Okay, Norma McCorvey. That's her real name. They didn't want to use that name because they didn't want nobody going to her background to find out who she really was. We'll get to what her background and what she really was, because they knew that it wouldn't be a good look, and most likely they'll say, "Nah, we're not finna put this shit out here. Nah, fuck that. We're dismissed." So they basically used her as a scapegoat. Let me let Denzel speak on behalf of Malcolm X.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
So basically, she's the mastermind of starting this Roe versus Wade.
Yeah. And she was genius. She actually used Griswold versus Connecticut, and we're going to talk about that case too. So she used Griswold versus Connecticut to argue. And what Griswold versus Connecticut was, it was a Supreme Court decision about marital privacy when it comes to using contraceptives. And since they determined that the government could not interfere in how a couple chose to use contraceptives and the whole marital privacy, she said, why not expand this to abortion rights? So that was her whole push for that. So she used Griswold versus Connecticut to try to expand this to abortion rights. So
let me ask you this: do you know if she had any? Did she have any kids? Or did she have any abortions?
Not that I know of.
So you got some half a queer doing a lawsuit for Roe versus Wade who never had no kids, from what we know and speculate, never been pregnant, but yet you trying to come out with abortions. Now, if this ain't no motherfucking mastermind of destroying shit and destroying the family structure, the traditional family home and shit like that, then I don't know what is. This is why I tell y'all, men and women, this is why I can't say that the black woman is the worst baby mama terrorist on the planet, because they don't have a history as far as these Al-Qaeda baby mama terrorists. Why you think you got a lot of white dudes that laugh at black men when they say the white woman is God? Why do you think that these motherfuckers can't even get rid of these white dudes can't even overturn the white woman? Because they have a bigger power with this feminist shit.
Right. And these women had power, especially Linda Coffey. A lot of people don't know she was the brains behind this entire thing because she don't get no credit for the Roe case. But we're going to go into that. We're going to go into why of that too. So what was interesting, she tried this case at district court in Dallas, right? She actually won because of Griswold versus Connecticut. She actually won the case. So the District Court of Texas found that the law was unconstitutional. However, the practice continued with no injunction. And so in Texas, they were still refusing people to have abortions unless there was an issue with safety regarding the woman's life. So because there was no injunction, and because Texas continued the practice of basically banning abortions unless they said it was okay, that is what allowed for it to be appealed to the Supreme Court. So that's how we got to the Supreme Court, because Texas continued the practice even after the district court found the law unconstitutional.
Now, what I want y'all to understand, this Jane Roe that people be talking about, she's the front man. She's the face. Well, not even the face, because they didn't even want to show her motherfucking ass, but she is the name that they use. But actually, the mastermind of this shit was this woman right here. What's her name again?
Linda Coffey.
Linda Coffey. I just want y'all to understand that when people talk about this Roe versus Wade shit, it ain't what you think. This false agenda that they're going out here talking about abortion is bigger. It's even bigger than this abortion shit.
Right.
So we're gonna talk about this today, and like I said, we got 178 people, some 185 people. Hit the like button and definitely donate, because I'm coming with some real shit. I'm trying to get some ribs from somewhere, damn it, because I'm not barbecuing. So I'm about to pay somebody to make some ribs and shit. So y'all need to look out for Cows Gang, this motherfucker. Come on now, look out for me and definitely hit the like button. That's free. Come on, we come with some real shit that these motherfuckers not gonna ever talk about. No, they not. They ain't gonna talk about that. So go ahead, but just take heed that this woman, Miss Piece of Shit Coffee, is a undercover feminist. I mean, no, undercover alphabet. She's a known feminist, and she is the reason why Roe versus Wade went all the way to the Supreme Court, and then it ended up getting passed.
Right. So let's go to the next attorney, the one who got the credit for the Roe decision or trying it at the Supreme Court, Sarah Weddington.
Hold on, before we get there, she was an attorney.
Yeah, they were Planned Parenthood attorneys, as a matter of fact. They both went from Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood attorneys, ain't that a bitch? Okay.
Yeah, in Dallas, both of them.
Both of them. And who's the second one?
Sarah Weddington.
Sarah Wellington.
Weddington. W-E-D.
Weddington. Oh, I'm sorry, Weddington. You gotta say them names right. Oh, Sarah smile, and even when she smiles, she look ugly as fuck. But that's a whole nother story. This is Sarah, y'all.
So, Miss Sarah Weddington, again, she was a Planned Parenthood attorney out of Dallas, Texas. Now, she also volunteered for women's rights. Remember, we talked about before Miss what's her name? No, I can't think of her damn name right now. What's her name? Betty Friedan, the leader of the women's rights. She volunteered for that organization. So Miss Weddington here volunteered for women's rights. She also is the one who argued the Roe case at the Supreme Court. What's interesting about Mrs. Weddington is she actually had an illegal abortion in Mexico.
Oh, wait. So she's not a undercover alphabet. She actually a woman who got pregnant and she did an abortion in New Mexico, or she went to Mexico.
She had an illegal abortion in Mexico, and she wrote about it in her book. Now, that's going to be interesting later on, too. That's an interesting fact later on.
Okay, so she wasn't married.
She was married at some point in her life. I don't know if she was married when she had the abortion in Mexico or not. Because I didn't actually read her book. I found out that she wrote the book by listening to the Jane Roe story.
I wouldn't read her bullshit either, because she's belies and deflects and all this. And just like somebody even said in the chat that, see, the white man used black women to destroy us even further. I told y'all, these are the right hands of white supremacy. I told y'all. Let me, and just my man Lane saying that real shit. Let me let Denzel speak on behalf of Malcolm X.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
I want to give a shout out to Cool Brother Phil, man, for the $20 donation. I appreciate you, my brother. Shout out to the True Hoteps in here. So yes. So this woman actually did an illegal abortion in Mexico, and she's a lawyer that's aid and assist this Roe versus Wade.
Right. But so what's interesting, why you got her picture up, is guess why she actually gets credit for Roe v. Wade? So she tried it at the Supreme Court, but the reason why she took all the credit for it is because Linda Coffey, who was a brunette, she was a closet alphabet, and she understood aesthetics back then. Right. So Linda Coffey agreed to let her run front seat at the Supreme Court because she was blonde-haired and blue-eyed.
And now I'm glad you said that. Yeah, she's the God. She's the look. She's the Mother Earth, the Mother Nature, shit like that. Just like people on YouTube that tell you have to wear a suit, tie, and all that to be looked at as a high value man. And if you wear a fuck childhood hat, you got to be the lowest of the low, broke, lonely, ain't got shit, and ain't worth a damn. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. A lot of this shit that y'all hear actually come from these white devils that y'all call racist and white supremacy. I'm just saying. See, so I mean, maybe a lot of people are embedded with this white supremacy logic then, because mother's milk.
Right.
Shout out to Dr. Thunder for the $5 donation. He said, "Great show, man. Subscribe to his channel, man. He's like I say, he's one of the he's the scholar, one of the scholars of the Black Manosphere, man. He definitely be doing the Lord's work over there, man. He got them Simp Chronicles too, man. And he's also a teacher at the Ohio State University, and he loved to do music. He do all the instruments you ever seen. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. Yeah, see. That's why they tell you that blue collar ain't shit. White collar is the way to go. But when the COVID hit, white collar was jumping out the window because they was getting fired and laid off and shit. Blue collar had to do a job and work and keep on moving and actually get more money from it. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, this person right here that got the smile on her face. When you try to speak to these type of motherfuckers, they'll give you that fake ass smile. They don't respond. This is the smile they give you. So that's to let you know when you get these type of smiles, believe me, it's all the devil's it's a devil's grin. These are the devil's son-in-laws.
Right.
Go ahead.
So remember, she was put on the front seat because she was blonde hair, blue eyes. So again, Linda Coffey being the brains behind this, she understood that the judges would lean more towards her, with her being the picture of what white America looks like. And she also understood why we needed to give Miss Norma McCorvey the pseudonym of Jane Roe. So she understands visualization and public opinion, appearance, all of that. So again, Linda Coffey, the brains behind it. But this picture right here, Sarah Weddington, she got credit for the entire thing.
Wait a minute. Before we get to that, that's so she's basically the face, the look of the Roe versus Wade movement. So what about the real Jane Roe?
Well, we're gonna get into that. We're about to get into that next. So first, they have to build the case.
Hold on,
go ahead.
I gotta cut you out. I got to put this out here. That sounds like the Me Too movement. Now you remember who originally started the Me Too movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we all know who the Me Too movement who started was a black woman, and she don't have the look at all. So now I noticed that a lot of the white feminists picked that Me Too shit and ran with it. That's why it's big as it is today. I want y'all to understand this, man. It's the same way that was going on with that Me Too shit. The person who started is a black woman. Y'all know who she is. And long as she talked about R. Kelly and other black celebrities and actors and rich black dudes, she was cool. But when they want to get to the bigger program, to the white man, then, they, put out and put on a back burner and have all these other white feminists take over the Me Too movement. Just to let y'all know. Just saying.
Good information.
Just so you know. Go ahead, Dad. I just want y'all to get to understand. Same shit.
Right. So to build in the case. So after New York overturned, so they overturned abortion bans in New York first. So in 1970, after they overturned the abortion bans in New York, one day later, that Planned Parenthood site that was in Syracuse became the first provider of abortion services. They also were the first standalone abortion center nationwide out of Syracuse. So what NARAL did, as I explained before, they didn't want to fight this state by state. Initially, that's what they were going to do, but they decided that was going to be a lengthy process. So because they didn't want to fight each state by state, they needed a Supreme Court case that would overturn abortion bans at the federal level. So they had already been successful in deploying tactics to sway public opinion, to include false stats and fake news stories, which we've discussed a little bit of that. Their tactics were to capitalize on the fact that most Americans don't want to be part of the minority, and they understand racial divides as an example during that time. During that time, everyone, like I said, we all understood what it meant to be part of a minority back in the 70s. So, but they needed the perfect client. They needed somebody preferably young, somebody preferably dumb, and definitely seeking an abortion. So they found Jane Roe. So
let me show her picture, even though we're gonna show in the thing. Y'all seen in the thumbnail, but you know, I also want that's up to date. This is very interesting. Very interesting. This is how dumb niggas are. And tell her real name again.
Norma McCorvey.
Norma. McCorvey. What kind of name is McCorvey?
McCorvey, V-E-Y.
It's all fucked up. Don't matter. I was just saying these names, man.
So before we get to the videos, and we're gonna go into letting Jane Roe tell you who she is in her own words. But before we get to that, so how they went about finding Jane Roe was the members of Normal. What they did was they started reaching out since they had attorneys or whatever people that work for Planned Parenthood. What they started doing was reaching out to the Planned Parenthood sites, reaching out to medical professionals, and asking them to solicit them for clients. So they said, hey, if you have a girl that comes in there that's seeking an abortion, blah, 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 we need you. This is what we're looking for. If you find this client, let us know. Well, just so happened, Mrs. Norma McCorvey walks into a facility seeking an abortion, and it just so happened that she met a McCluskey, I think his name was. Even though to me he didn't play an integral role, he's the one that introduced her to Linda Coffey, and they ran with it from there.
So basically, I want y'all to get a clear understanding. They used this woman, Jane Roe, with her real name is Norma McCorvey. Some trailer park, broke, not even Section 8, living in the slums, ain't worth a damn, bum, be the face and the front man, and she look like a man of Woe versus Wade. Let me let Denzel. It's gonna be a lot of Denzel speaking for Malcolm X on this motherfucker.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
This is your old Jane Roe right here, y'all.
This is the martyr.
This is the martyr. This is the Mother Earth. This is the one they say God. This is the head ringleader, this motherfucker. So they say. But we already saw who it was with the blonde, the blue eyes, and looking like Mary Poppins. This right. Is there to get an abortion. Go ahead, Dallas. Oh, we're gonna cook today.
So go ahead and get ready to cue the video up. So, but for those who don't know, Norma McCorvey, aka Jane Roe, was a runaway. She was a lesbian. She was an alcoholic. She was a drug addict. Some say she was a drug dealer. I don't know if that part is true. I haven't found anything that says that, but some say she was a drug dealer.
What she was selling, nickel bags?
I have no idea. But she was a thief. She was a liar, and she had a 9th grade education.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. She was ignorant?
Yes.
No, she could have been ignorant.
I'm not being ignorant.
Oh, okay. She was a trap queen.
But she was perfect for them because they needed somebody that they could control, and they found Norma McCorvey. So, but I don't want to tell y'all who Norma is. Let's let Norma speak for herself.
Yes, we definitely gonna do that. This is gonna be fair use. Y'all already know how I get down when it comes to that. Fair use, and again, this is for criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, and to expose you dumb black motherfuckers that entertain this bullshit, and you dumbass feminists and these baby mama terrorists and the rest of the gang, and you civic forces who really thought that this Roe versus Wade was for basically just for abortions. Okay, so without further ado, I'm gonna let my man Clifford Burns speak his piece as we get started, and then we're going to certain segments and pieces of this Jane Roe. Go ahead, Clifford.
Christmas Eve, and they're calling my lawyer for 2 payments, telling him there's a warrant going out for his arrest. Where's he live? I got a fucking apartment in the post office box because I don't want people bothering me anymore.
Meet Jane.
Deathbed confession.
This is y'all good old great leader, Mother Earth, whatever you want to call it. This is y'all Jane Roe right here. This is the one who's going to give you her deathbed, I guess, truth. Because even in some of this shit, she lied, even in her home deathbed confessions. You can't make this shit up. I'm just saying. Yes. Dallas D.
Yes, sir. Meet Norma.
This Norma, y'all. This is Norma McCorvey, y'all. This is the one who walked in, the first person they needed to walk in there to do an abortion, and they decided to use her as the martyr, the face. But she never could really talk. No. Even she was used to. And also, she come from a trailer park. She was an alcoholic. She was a drug addict. Alleged she was a so-called drug dealer. She was a common thief. She was not a dumb nigga off Cottage Grove. She was worse than a dumb nigga off Cottage Grove, such as myself. She didn't even sleep on the couch. She slept on the streets. I'm just saying. So this is y'all one that y'all look out and with your signs out here talking about pro-abortion with your coochie hat on and all that shit. I'm just saying. I want you one more time, Dallas, to repeat what type of woman that this martyr really was, with her fake ass. Look like she got a tattoo of her eyebrows or a fucking marker, because you don't see no eyebrows of the shit. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, they might be tattooed. But like I said, for those who don't know, she was a runaway. She was a lesbian. She was an alcoholic. She was a drug addict. She was a thief. She was a liar. And she had a 9th grade education. But Norma's going to explain all that to you in her own words. Yep. And we're going to see who the most controversial Supreme Court case in American history was founded on lies, untruths, and people like Norma McCorvey.
McCorvey. Let's get it going.
Okay.
Let's get it started. This is in Katy, Texas, y'all. Katy, Texas, 2016. This is when they started this documentary. And y'all in Texas, you heard of Katy, Texas. I drove through there, but that's Katy, Texas.
I'm just reading that sign over there. No boats or floats, no glass containers, no wading or swimming, but enjoy your stay here. Commissioner Precinct number 3. Well, he's an asshole. But outside that, enjoy our park. Everything's got so many damn rules. I think they suck. I learned straight on that if you're nice and quiet and polite, nobody pays any attention to you. And I like attention.
Pause it.
Tomorrow.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm talking about her, because she likes attention, just like these baby mama Tez out Wild Manishas. Anything for attentions. Go ahead, Dallas.
That's why I wanted you to pause it. I want y'all to pay attention to what she says, because a lot of what she says may not mean anything to you now, but as we go into these little snippets of road, they're going to mean something. So she was an attention whore. That's another thing. She wanted attention.
For attention. And you know how we talk about people that just want attention, Right.
And she didn't like following the rules.
What baby mama Tez do?
Exactly. Go ahead.
Nobody pays any attention to you. And I like attention. Tomorrow creeps in its pretty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of record time. What is life but an act upon the stage, signifying nothing?
What's up?
3rd act, Macbeth, Shakespeare.
Pause that.
Why do you like that bit?
Macbeth.
Go ahead.
So when that Macbeth, where she says, "What is life but an act upon a stage?" That's one of her favorite lines. That means something later on. What is life but an act upon a stage? Go ahead.
Al Karen, baby mama Terrace.
He was just a cool guy. Here you go, baby.
What did you want to be when you were young?
When I was young, a movie star. They went to all these glamorous places. They got to fly on airplanes and smoke cigarettes out of those long cigarette holders. It just looked like such fun.
Pause it.
Do you miss your family?
Go ahead, Dallas.
That's another thing I want y'all to pay attention to. What she wanted to be when she grew up was a movie star.
Yes.
Means nothing now. It'll mean something later. And again, one of her favorite quotes was that whole "What is life but an act upon a stage?" And if she wanted to be a movie star her entire life. Go ahead, Mr. Palmer.
And I want y'all to understand that most of these all these baby mama tears are stars. They are stars. Just call star. Say, how you doing, star? And when they look at you crazy, like, what you mean, star? Like, I'm a superstar, movie star? Tell them to turn the word star backwards. You got rats. That's what they are. So say, hey, how you doing, star? Spell star backwards, and that's what you are. You know that you's a star. Spell it backwards to what you are. Yeah, it's what you are, a star.
Do you miss your family?
You know, you can't miss anything you never had.
You heard what she said? She said it. Like, do you miss your family? She said, I can't miss nothing I ain't never had. So she didn't have a family.
She didn't, but she did.
No,
that's important too.
She say she didn't, but she did. But bad behavior, you be cut off, you be deleted, you be eliminated from the family. Yeah, because of your fuck ups. This is why I say you don't reward bad behavior. That's why I say cut them manipulated ass motherfuckers off that you call kids that you're trying to fight for that's destroying you. But let's continue. She says she don't have a family. Can't miss nothing you never had.
I came from a very rough childhood. We were poor. It wasn't a happy time at all. It was always survival. My mom, she was a bitch. And she was just a two-faced bitch.
I want y'all to hear that again, what she said about her mama. Her mama was a two-faced bitch. And a lot of these baby mama tears that we be around, they hate their mamas too. But the only thing about it is, the devil will work at the devil with a devil, even though they hate each other, to destroy you men. I'm just letting you know that. You know what I'm saying? But she said it. Her mom was a two-faced bitch. She ain't shit. And you ain't heard that. Let's see what she said about her father.
Hold on. Let's wait till you find out. Wait till you find out why she said her mama was a bitch.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just saying, I just want them to understand she hate her mama. And these the ones that he's talking about they for women and all that shit. And they be the main ones that hate their own mama. Okay.
Second child. Me. It's just that simple.
Pause it.
She was a drug.
That's her mama, right?
Yeah. So, but Jane Roe, Norma McCorvey, the face or the name behind abortion rights in America, hated her mother because her mother didn't want to have a second child and she was a second child. So the same person that was fighting for abortion is the same person that hates her mother because her mother didn't want to have her. Talk about irony.
I want y'all to hear that one more time for these stupid motherfuckers in the back. Please repeat yourself.
The same woman who fought for abortion rights, the reason why Roe v. Wade exists today, hated her mother because her mother didn't want to have her.
You cannot make this shit up. Let me let Denzel speak on behalf of Malcolm X. Yes, your mama black.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
That's why she's a two-faced bitch. I never liked her and I hate her. But let's continue.
She didn't want to have a second child. Me.
I want y'all to hear that one more time. She just said it. She didn't want a second child. Me, she wanted to abort me. But because it was illegal, she had her anyway. But guess who come out with this? Get rid of, start abortions, pro-abortion rights, my body, my choice, and his responsibility and all that shit. This is why I tell you, most of these baby mama terrorists, they hate men because they hate their own mama and they hate themselves. There's a lot of different factors. That's why I say, man, you got to really do your due diligence to find out who you really around. Your own sister, your own friend, your own cousin. I'm talking about these females. You know what I'm saying? Your grandmother, your mama. You really have to do your due diligence to find out Who the fuck is around your circle? Who is around you? You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. She said her mom was all these things, but her mom wanted to do the same thing that she was pro-abortion for. Okay.
She was a bitch. And she was just a two-faced bitch. She didn't want to have a second child. Me. It's just that simple. She was a drug. She'd got a taste of the party life, and she didn't want to let go. My dad just got through with it. He packed up his truck and took off.
I got to pause right here because her father got tired of the fuckery that was going on with the baby mama Terrace, her mother. And he said, I got to get out of here. And I'm trying to tell y'all, no, she did not like her mom. But, and this, I want y'all to understand that, you know, this is why a lot of fathers are ran out the picture. This is why fathers are eliminated out the picture. This is why fathers are alienated to this day and being used just to pay and be scapegoats and be down the rabbit hole and commit suicide and all this different shit because of shit like this. It started with them, not us. Anything you gotta say, Dallas, for our play?
Nah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just saying because he got his suitcase and went on about his business and said he's gonna live a free agent lifestyle, I guess.
My dad just got through with it. He packed up his truck and took off. Once she started drinking, I really didn't want to be around her. She'd get up and she'd slap me. It would make me feel insignificant and worthless. And so I asked my friend Rita, do you want to run away with me? She said, well, where would we run away to? And I said, Oklahoma City. To get to Oklahoma City, we had to rob a gas station. I was 10 or 11. I went over there and opened the drawer up real quietly, stuck my hand in the drawer, and I got all the money out. And I thought, God, I feel bad. The only hotel we could find was called the Black Hotel. The maid walked in on us and caught us kissing, Rita and I kissing. She called the police on us. Anytime you do anything out of the mainframe of society, it's considered dirty.
She ran away with another girl and was arrested basically in Oklahoma City hotel room where they'd scammed their way in. By and by, a police detective came by, took Norma aside, told her she was in big trouble, and asked her if she had committed sodomy. So she said no. And then she turned to him and said, are you asking whether I put my hand in her underpants? Yeah, I did that.
Eventually, they sent me to Gainesville State School for Girls. It's a reform school. You go there to get reformed if you've been bad. I was like so young. I was sentenced at 10 years old, and I resented it a great deal. But once I got there and I saw that it wasn't a dungeon, it was okay. Gainesville was a trip. Some wall-to-wall women. My God, I never saw so many boobs in my life.
So she thought she was in heaven.
Right.
She thought she was in heaven because she saw all the titties and ass in this motherfucker.
Right. So we covered a few. We've covered thief, we've covered lesbian, and we've covevered runaway. Because in order for her to get to Oklahoma, they had to rob the gas station. So at 10 years old, you ran away with another girl. 10.
10. This 10.
Like somebody put in the comments Thelma and Louise. Right. Underage Thelma and Louise. Ran away to a whole nother state, robbed a store in order to do it, conjured way into a hotel room, was fondling another little girl, and then got sentenced to the reform school.
I want to give a shout out to Marcus Frazier for the $10 donation. They said gotta donate simply for the 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock rock remix. On the dude with the 8 BMTs with their kids in the last video. I'm still laughing off that shit. Mr. Palmer, you a gym fam. That was with Shorty Low with all them kids. I might fuck around and do a remix of that shit. Shout out to Marcus Frazier. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock rock. 9, 10, 12 o'clock. I forgot, but I have to get it. I'll get it right. I'll fuck right. Well, I was cooking yesterday. I was in my mode. Shout out to the Cows gang. But yeah, she said, hey, she said she seen number boos in this mother. 10 years old. 10 years old.
But she hated her mama because her mama was a drunk and her mama got introduced to the party lifestyle. But you running off at 10 years old, sneaking in the hotels.
Now, this is supposed to be the one who is the martyr and the leader and the pulpit of this Roe versus Wade. You can't make this shit up. I gotta let Denzel speak on behalf of Malcolm X.
You've been had. You've been took.
Hell no.
You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Cagney and Lacey. Let's play. This would be the end because these motherfuckers. She was a freak.
Some wall-to-wall women. My God, I never saw so many boobs in my life. Tons of girlfriends. I stayed there till I was 15.
So she stayed in that motherfucker for 5 years. So she got to live. That ain't reform shit.
Right.
Reform what? Okay, well, we're gonna go to the next clip. You know
so
go ahead.
That was just the introduction to who Jane Roe was, and part of the reason why she was given the pseudonym of Jane Roe, because they did not want anybody digging into her background. So that explains why she was given the pseudonym and why nobody wanted her to be the actual, even though she was the name, nobody wanted her to be the face of this whole Roe decision. Because if they had pulled up that information on her, this case would have went to hell real fast.
Yeah. So I just want y'all to know this is why y'all never really. I bet you a lot of y'all never even know who she really was unless you looked it up. When you saw Roe versus Wade, you just saw feminists out there, lawyers, people who, you know what I'm saying, who try to, of course, change the law and change the shit. You didn't see her like that.
Right.
And how she acts. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mr. Palmer.
I was gonna let y'all know how she acts is no different from these baby mama terrorists today. I'm just saying that without them being lesbians, they're basically the same. They come from these same type of backgrounds, same type of upbringing and raising it, runaways, and the mom ain't this, the mom ain't that, daddy left, ran them off, whatever. I'm just saying, for the most part, not all, but for the most part. Go ahead, Dallas. I was gonna press play when you done to the second segment.
Right. So for the second segment, what a lot of people don't know about Jane Roe is that she never had an abortion. A lot of people don't know that.
Wait a minute. Repeat that again for these dumb motherfuckers in the back for this martyr about this
Jane Roe
Go ahead.
Never had an abortion. Not only did she not have an abortion, Jane Roe gave birth to 3 kids.
Oh, Frisco. Oh, no. So wait a minute. So the person that's supposed to be the martyr, the head of this shit, that's supposed to be the Jane Roe. You telling me that she had 3 kids? She never had an abortion?
Right.
Oh.
She didn't raise any of them though.
But still, she had them. She didn't.
Right.
She was not a lead by example. Because if you know what I'm saying, like me, fuck child support. I've been through it. You know what I'm saying? If I got beat up by the police, I'm gonna talk about I got beat up by the police. I can't say I never been beat up by the police, but I'm talking about police ain't this. But I sit back, shake hands with these motherfuckers. So you basically telling me that they got somebody on the front lines, the head nigga in charge, the face and all this shit, the name Jane Roe, who actually never had an abortion, and she had 3 kids.
3. Yep.
And never raised none of them motherfuckers.
None. Now, one child she had temporarily, but custody was awarded to her mother, the one that she claims is a drunk, the one that she claims she didn't lie, the one that she claims was a bitch, the one where she claims she never had any family. So for you to be claiming you never had no family, your mother adopted your child. The reason why her mother adopted her because she said Jane was nothing but, well, Norma was nothing but a drunk. She was an alcoholic. She didn't have any money, and she was a lesbian, and she didn't have no business raising no kids. And the courts awarded custody to the mama, and the mama took custody. I believe it was the oldest child that the mother raised.
I want y'all to understand it again. You know, now you heard her say her mom was a two-sided ass bitch and all this shit, but she took the first daughter and raised her on her own, got adopted because she was not fit to be a mother. But guess what she did? The baby mama terrorist, Miss Jane Rowe, even though she say she loved boobs and titties, she had 2 more children. She did not raise none of them. She's a baby mama terrorist to the max. See, this is what I'm talking about with this Roe versus Wade shit. All these black women out here fighting this Roe versus Wade, they talking this bullshit. They don't know what the fuck. They fighting a battle and destroying black men when they don't even know what the fuck they doing it for. Let me let Denzel speak on behalf of Malcolm X.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
She was sent off, led astray. But let's go to the second part. I love this. I want them to prove me wrong. Before we go to the second part, I want to let y'all know I forgot to do this. I got to inform everybody. My mama black. I'm just letting you know my mama black because I don't want you coming here talking about your mama black and my mama is black. Okay? My mama black. Shout out to Gail Knight, the lovely Gail Knight, one of the best moderators in the world for the $2 donation. She said, shout out to Dallas D. Fire. # teach sis. Yes. Yes.
Hey, shout out to Gail because she is one of the best moms in the world. Much respect to that. I love Gail to death.
Hell yeah, shit. Anytime you can moderate 30 fucking channels at one time. Hey, what you doing, Gail? Oh, I'm moderating. I said, you moderate mine too? Yeah. Oh, okay. Let me get the fuck off the phone, let you handle your business.
Right.
Shout out to Gail Knight. So yeah, this motherfucker right here. This what y'all been out there fighting and doing all this shit for. I just all y'all out Karens, out Wild Man niches, especially y'all. You know what I'm saying? Our Senorita, Al Zhang, Al Chang, the rest of the gang. Oh yeah, y'all some. That's what I say. These are the most degree having, dumbest, most smartest, educated motherfuckers on the planet.
A lot of people are still very shocked to find out that I've never had an abortion. When I was 15, I was working at the drive-in. That's where I met Woody. He's a customer, right? I'm a stupid little car hop. I go skating out there, you know. Hi, my name's Norma. Can I take your order? And he says, yeah. He says, give me a fur burger. I said, a what? A fur burger. I was a kid. I was still a kid. I mean, you know, totally oblivious. I said, I don't think we have any of those tonight. Well, he started laughing. I said, go away. Shh. I said, I'm being nice now. He says, come on, let me take you home. He was good looking. I knew he had a lot of money.
Before we get on to what she talk about, you know, Woody Woodpecker, I want y'all to understand that I mean his name Woody Woodpecker. Now, and she didn't understand what a fur burger was. He wanted to eat the pom-pom, right, Chris? I mean, damn, I'm the dummy off cottage. But I want you to understand that this dude was he got to be much older, at least 21. This is part of the statistics that I showed y'all when it comes to lack of fathers and lack of two-parent household, where when it comes to teenage girls dealing with older men to be like a father figure. Now I'm just saying. So Mr. Woodpecker was already knew what he was going to do.
All right. But hey, but Norma hopped in the car with the guy she met at work 5 minutes ago.
Exactly. She actually
Bad
left the job.
judgment.
She left the job to get some Woody Woodpecker. I got it.
Because he was good looking and had some money.
Had some money. That sound like these watermelon dishes too, don't it? That's why I say they all wanted the same.
Right.
Yeah, the original WAP, right? J Rock. This is the original WAP gang right here.
I knew he had a lot of money. We spent the night together. Then my mom, she says, well, if you're going to sleep with him, might as well just go ahead and get married. I married Woody about a year later.
So basically, Woody Woodpecker decided to do, who was that? What's his name? The one that made the Great Balls of Fire. He married his 16-year-old cousin.
You talking about Elvis?
Not Elvis. Oh. Not the other one. Great Balls of Fire. What's his name, y'all?
Oh, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, Elvis married underage woman, a girl, but we talking about, I want a dude. I forgot his name. Great Balls of Fire. But he married his Jerry Lee Lewis. Thank you. He married his second cousin. It was first cousin's daughter. And now they not related. I'm just saying, but I'm saying she was like 15, 14, and they got married. And, of course, the mother had to sign off because she said, hey, you having sex with you, might as well marry him. And he said, fuck it, I'll marry her. So he decided to be a quote unquote real man. They say do it the right way, right? So he went on and married her, and they did get married. Let me give a shout out to Shadow Dog Law, like the name for the 499. He said, wow, everybody out and about at the pool or barbecuing. I'm in class with Professor Palmer, Couch Gang, fuck child support. Shout out to Shadow Dog Law. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? After we get done, you I'm gonna go somewhere to get somebody barbecue and shit.
Right. But what's funny about this is how she talked about her mom not being shit, her mom being a drunk, two-faced, all that. But her mom said, you're not just going to be having sex with a boy, you might as well marry him. So her mom trying to give her structure. But this is the same woman you can't stand.
Right. And she took your daughter and raised her on. But whatever. A lot of people, hate their mom and hate their father. But, so when you finally get the backstory, the fact that she wasn't allowed to be a piece of shit around their presence. So they like, man, get the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say we have to stop rewarding bad behavior for anybody. But let's continue. But now they just got married. Yeah, Jerry Lee pervert.
I was 16. He was 22.
22. Okay.
One day he came home. I looked at him and I said, I'm pregnant. And he turned around and he hit me.
Oh, damn.
He says, you've been sleeping with somebody else. I wasn't going to live like that.
Wait a minute. So this dude did the white Ike Turner fadeaway. He slapped her because she said she's pregnant, knowing he fucked her without a rubber, knowing that he came in her, knowing that if he fucked without a condom, he got her pregnant. And when she said that she was pregnant, he slapped and said, who you been fucking around with? You can't make this shit up.
So, Mr. Palmer, you also have to consider that she went home with him on night one, according to her story. And if she was living a promiscuous lifestyle, hey, maybe there was something going on that made him suspect that she was. Right. Hey, how many men are paying for child support for kids that aren't theirs today?
30% or 33% in the United States of America. So
this ain't new. He may have had a point. That might not have been his kid.
But then he was stupid. He was stupid as fuck for marrying her. So on that note,
bitter milk.
He got him a fur burger and realized the fur burger became a double whopper. Now he slapped the shit out of her. He want to leave. And I think he probably also did it because he probably want to go to the other bitch house anyway. Yeah, I think she probably is lying. We don't trust these whores. So I get it. Let's go ahead and hear about the infamous Ike Turner slap, the originator.
He turned around and he hit me. He says, you've been sleeping with somebody else. I wasn't going to live like that.
He wasn't either.
I threw his ass out.
Yeah, right. Shit, throw him off. He left.
Don't want to fuck with me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
I had Missy. She was a cute baby. My stepfather and my mother was taking care of Melissa for me. And they found out that I was out with a girl. I love flirting. I was a sucker for blondes, you know, and redheads. Oh, God.
Oh, damn.
I love it.
She was a shit. She finna nut on herself. I want y'all to hear that again. Let me give a shout out to Gail at Night for the $2 donation. She said Norma started the For the Streets move. I'll tell you, even though and I agree with Gail, even though we come with these slangs and stuff like that, the shit was already started when it came to the Al Karens. This is why I tell y'all that these are the originators and the worst baby mama tales of them all. Because anytime we talk about what black women do, they been did this shit. I'm just saying. Shout out to
But
Gail.
she right though.
She is right.
Norma was for the streets.
She was for the streets. She was for the county. She was for the wards, the states, and the reform schools. Shout out to Gail at Night. She didn't throw him out. That motherfucker left. So she talking that somebody. She threw him out. He 22 years old. He probably punched an eye and left. Fuck out of here. So let's stop that bullshit. Stop the cap, bitch. But you heard her. She said she had the first baby, cute baby. She let the stepfather and mother take her, which I don't believe. I think they said, "No, let us take her. You ain't gonna do shit right anyway." You know what I mean?
Well, I think what happened was they were babysitting her on a particular night and found out that she was out gallivanting with a girl.
And they said, "Nah, we're gonna keep her here because she don't need to be around that bullshit." Okay, I got it. Shout out to Charles. Charles say abortion wasn't about women's rights. It was about avoiding responsibility, of course.
Exactly. That's my whole point.
Of course. I mean, we know that. I know that. Dallas D and a lot of these women know that. But here's the thing. The shit they put out here is the propaganda. Oh, this reproductive coercion and shit. Which that's a fucking lie. So and I'm glad Charles said it. Let me let Denzel again speak for Malcolm X. It's gonna be a lot of Malcolm X speaking going on.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
And this is we trying to show y'all that this abortion bullshit, you know what I'm saying? This was not about women's rights. So that's why I want y'all to understand. This abortion shit is Roe versus Wade is nothing about no woman's reproductive rights. It's about avoiding responsibilities. But when it comes to us, we want to avoid our responsibility. They tell us, nah, nigga, child support. Nah, nigga, we're going to put you on child support. You ain't got to be around, but you're going to pay. You see what I'm saying? Like we always say that these women do anyway. They always try to avoid some type of responsibility. They try to live off your money. When they marry you for 10 years, they divorce your funky ass and then get half your shit, if not all, put you on child support. And even though she don't want you, she go with somebody like Demond George and live with him and still live off you. Come on now. Again, it's about avoiding responsibility. Now, African Mermaid says responsibility is both parents. Too many men walk away. No, that's not true. No, it's not true. It's not true. I mean, that's not true. I'm not getting all that. It takes two to have a child, but it takes one to make the executive decision, decide if she want to keep the baby or not. We know that's not. Let's not talk about this responsibility for two parents shit. Now, it's responsibility for a man to not knock her ass up. Yes, I agree 100%. But to say that the responsibility of both parents, no, it's not. It's the responsibility of that woman to decide if she want to keep the child or not. I know women, and we see documentaries all the time where the woman say, I don't want the child, I don't want it. The father say, I'll take the child. You know that motherfucker would rather take the kid and put him up to the water of the state. You can't make this shit up. So no, let's not talk about that.
But hold on, Mr. Palmer. While we talking about men walk away, I challenge you to find me 62 million men who walked away, because we got 62 million abortions on record. That's women walking away. Every abortion is a woman walking away from parental obligation and responsibility. So find me 62 million men who did it, and we can talk about that.
Well, here's the thing. You know, when they do abortions, men ain't even allowed to be up there, because a lot of men will actually fight them people trying to, stop the shit. So they don't let no men come in there. Even if they want to be there to support and they agree with this, they ain't not allowed to be in there.
And you know what? That's actually brought up in one of the Supreme Court cases. We're going to talk about that too.
We're gonna talk about that. This is Dallas D, y'all. She been come on here. She always come on here, y'all. It's just been a minute. She's definitely keyed on with this Roe versus Wade. She always schooled me when it comes to that. And we've been talking about this for months. but we had to get our shit in order and get shit set up. But yeah, and even outside even of abortion, if it's about the responsibility, why are 85% of men on child support and over 7% of men who pay child support, and 30% of them are not even a father?
Right.
I'm just saying, but that's a whole nother subject, because the 15% of the women is on child support, 57% of them don't pay the motherfucker. But let's continue, because let's talk about her. Never had an abortion, had 3 kids, and she was the head of this Roe versus Wade, get rid of a baby syndrome. Okay.
My stepfather and my mother was taking care of Melissa for me, and they found out that I was out with a girl. I love flirting. I was a sucker for blondes, and redheads. Oh, God. My mom told me, you going around with those queers has got to stop.
A lot of people thought that gay people were child molesters, that the gay people should not be in the company of children.
My mom took my first daughter away from me through the courts. She lied, and she told them that I was flamboyant, drunk, a lesbian, and unable to care for the child.
Where was the lie?
Right. Where was the lie? You biting your knuckles talking about a redhead. You was definitely flamboyant. You was definitely a lesbian. You were definitely a drunk.
Where was the lie? What the fuck? That's like a lot of these baby mama tend to say the father won shit, the father won that. But then you put him on child support, but then you call him about, can I get extra? But he won shit when you go in the front of the judge. He was a deadbeat lowlife, but then you hit him up to about, hey, can you give me some extra money? Yeah, all right. Let's continue, man.
So the courts believed her. They didn't believe me. In fact, they didn't even want to talk to me.
One of the things I think that happens sometimes with Norma is that the story she ended up telling herself was of her as the victim.
Right.
Because she felt a lot of sadness because she wasn't able to take care of her daughter. In a way, it was easier to blame her mother. That absolves her.
So, did you walk away, Mr. Palmer?
Yeah, I did for a second.
All right, so before we go to the next segment, so the next thing that people need to realize about Jane Roe is a lot of people, I don't know if everybody has heard this, but when this whole thing first started, when she was going to actually seek an abortion, she actually told medical doctors and the attorneys that the reason why she was seeking an abortion is because she was raped. So that was the whole base for this. She went around telling everybody that she was a victim of sexual assault, all this and all that, told all the doctors that. Now there's speculation that she blamed it on a black man. I don't know if that's 100% true. According to her, she said that people asked her specifically, was it by a black man? But regardless, we're going to let Norma let y'all know that even that was a lie. But it's interesting that that lie didn't come about until years later. Now, that's going to be important when it comes to this actual Supreme Court case and the attorneys that are trying this case. So she claimed that she had been a victim of rape. She claimed that that's why she wanted to have an abortion. So go ahead.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because a lot of shit. Remember, she said she's an actor. Well, she says she want to be an actor, and she says she want attention. So I want y'all to take heed of everything that y'all been hearing so far, because you ain't heard shit yet. But yes, she said she was great by guys and all this shit. But we'll, let the shit continue.
Because she wasn't able to take care of her daughter. In a way, it was easier to blame her mother. That absolves her.
I've got quarters for the jukebox.
Now, this is my girlfriend, y'all.
Yeah, when I met
Go ahead. Let them know who this is.
So yeah, so this Norma girlfriend, but she's gonna explain to you how she met her and all that. But yeah, she had a long-term relationship with her for like 20-some years, I believe. She was in a long-term relationship with Miss Connie. But she said her mama lied to her when she told the courts that she was a lesbian.
Right. Hey. That don't look like a woman, but you know.
That's a woman. That's the Palmer.
When a woman loves a woman, I don't know what the fuck. But that's a whole nother thing. Let's continue.
Connie, it was the summer of 70.
Yeah, that's right.
70.
I met you shortly after you had
the road baby. Yeah.
It's been 20-something years already, 25 years already. Where are we going? The same place we always go?
Yeah. I didn't have a job, didn't have money, same old, same old. So I went into Connie's store and I ripped off a can of chicken.
I gotta stop that. She said she had no money. Now, when the mama said that she wasn't able to take care of her kid financially, or the daughter financially, she said she was lying. Did you call her? She lied about me and all this. Yeah, this is the Roe versus Wade lady or baby, whatever you want to call it. Yes, this is her. This is real Jane Roe. Go ahead.
Mr. Palmer, notice how she said same old, same old. So you've been dealing with not having no money your entire life. And you back to thieving again.
I gotta give a shout out to African Mermaid. It's funny that the ones that talk this shit about me and don't want to take crying about child when all these guys either African queen or goddess. She said it's not enough to pay child support. Crying ass men pissed off because they are forced to pay child support instead of taking responsibility. This is about Roe versus Wade.
And I ain't no crying ass man.
But right. I mean, what is crying about child support got to do? Oh, because it had, I guess. Yeah, it's fuck child support. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, for all you people that talk about somebody crying about child support, y'all put the man on child support, and then you complain that you getting is child support. You got what you wanted. Because when I ask every woman, well, why didn't you ask for 50-50 equal parenting time and split everything down the middle? Then they say, fuck you, or you broke. They say you just hate women and all that shit. So I don't understand about this crying ass men pissed off, because for all these crying ass men that's pissed about child support, they pay. They child support. Out of the 85%, well, 82.5% of men who are on child support, over 67% of them pay their child support. So if men are crying, they show crying pan. They crying pan like a motherfucker. So I don't understand your logic, because if that's the case, the majority of men will not be paying their child support. It's men that don't even have not even his kids. 33% of these guys who are on child support are not even the biological father, and they pay their child support. So you saying, even let's go to the ones who not even the biological father. Shouldn't they have a right to cry about child support to take care of a kid that wasn't even theirs?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm just saying, let's ask that question. We're not going to talk, hey, ma'am, we're not going to ask about the ones who actually is the biological father. That's about the 33% that's paying child support for a kid that's not theirs. They got lied on, or they because of the law, she cheated when he was married to her. They paying child support for a kid that's not theirs. Should he have the right to cry about it? That's what I want to know. If you tell me yes, then you already know what it is. You tell me no, then you're full of shit. So either way, I already get it. You know, men should stop crying. So the 33% of you men who are on child support, even though the kid ain't yours, y'all need to stop crying. You can't make this shit up. I love this shit. I love this shit. That's what I'm talking about.
Hold on, Mr. Palmer. She talked about them not taking responsibility. So less than 8% of all abortions are attributed to victims of incest, victims of rape, and or safety or risk when it comes to the woman's health or the baby's health. So that means the other 93% of abortions are because she didn't want to take responsibility.
Right. So you need to talk about these crying ass women that trying to keep the abortion thing going. See, talk about them because they crying about it because they know it's gonna be their responsibilities. See, that's like I say, this Roe versus Wade shit ain't got nothing to do with reproductive rights. It's about having no responsibilities for they fuck ups. Let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue with this woman say that she was broke and irresponsible, but yes, she said her mom was lying. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit
I
up.
didn't have a job, didn't have money, same old, same old. So I went into Connie's store and I ripped off a can of chicken noodle soup and a Coke and some crackers. And I got midway to the door and she says, "Hey, I can call the police." And I offered to clean all the floors in the store for stealing from Connie.
So wait a minute. This woman became her girlfriend because she stole a fucking a can of chicken noodle soup.
with a soda on the side.
Wait, hey, she made a deal with her. I won't call the police if you be my bitch and eat my fur burgers. Hell nah. So she broke in her store, tried to rob her store, and for some chicken noodle soup and some salt shake. And old girl say, "I ain't gonna call police if you gonna eat my fur burger."
That ain't what she said. But she claims she saw something in her. I don't know what you saw in Miss Norma, but hey, to each his own.
Hey man, as long as you got somebody to eat some, eat a fur burger, it don't matter. In other words, she could be bought. That's all.
Right.
And then she gave me her brand new red Plymouth Fury
Sure.
and her credit card. And she says, "Here, why don't you take my card and have it washed and gassed up?" I said, "Okay."
And my roommate said, "Well, who'd you let borrow your car?" I said, "This girl I just met." I said, "She's real tiny, real."
Hey, you know what? Now, mind you, she just broke in her store and she said she gave her the car to a girl she just met. Now, I realized that simping forces are not just men, y'all.
Here I come to save the day.
You got a simp stud. You got a stud simp out here that do just as much. You cannot make this shit up.
My roommate said, "Well, who'd you let borrow your car?" I said, "This girl I just met." I said, "She's real tiny, real pretty. She weighs maybe about 100 pounds. Oh, I know who that is. That's Pixie. Oh, she's bad." I said, "Nah, I don't think so." "Yeah, she's bad." I said, "Well, whatever, we'll wait and see if she brings my car back." And she did. With a big old smile on her face, she said, "Oh, what's your car?" That is so pretty. Isn't that adorable? Oh, it's a cookie jar. She stood up for a lot of women, and she saved a lot of women. And she will always be Jane Roe.
She will always be Jane Roe. She will always be Jane Roe. Okay. Jane Roe. Jane Roe. Jane Roe. Jane Roe. Dallas D.
Yes, sir.
What's the next one?
We still haven't gotten to her admitting that she lied.
Not yet, but I broke it to each segment with the cutoff, so we ain't got to the lie part. But she's a simp stud. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I just want to actually show, like I said, in her own words, who she was, and the fact that, like I said, the biggest Supreme Court case in American history, this is what it was founded on. All the bullshit.
Yeah, and on that note, let Denzel speak from Malcolm,
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Please hit the like button. Please support the channel. You know what I'm saying? Let's get them likes up. Because this is some real shit. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Norma was charming. She had sort of a wry sense of humor. She was very pro-choice. She said, "I want to help." But it really didn't take too long to recognize that being friends with Norma was a complicated experience.
I want to go back to what this woman said. She said knowing her was a complicated experience. What do you think she meant by that, Dallas?
For me, I think as she started working with Ro, listening to Ro, talking to Ro, she realized that this was a confused woman. She had no real direction in life, and she was a flip flopper. You know, like to say that she hated her mom for all the things that that she was herself. She accused her mama lying on her, but she's admitted to everything that her mother said that she was. And I think it's as you unfold Norma McCorvey and spend more time talking with her, you realize that this woman is a bad case. She is a real bad case.
Yeah, she's a real baby mama terrorist. Okay, let's get it started because now she's gonna be admitting to some shit.
But it really didn't take too long to recognize that being friends with Norma was a complicated experience.
I was doing an interview with Carl Rowan. Carl had came to my house with his crew, and he says, Norma, I want to talk to you about the rape. I went to my doctor. He confirmed that I was pregnant, and I told him I wanted an abortion.
You were raped?
I thought, I'll just go ahead and tell the truth. Well, why not? No, I wasn't.
You were not?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, so all those stories are not true?
Yes, sir. Yes.
They're not true.
Right.
Let's go back again because I want you dumb niggas in the back to understand that ain't this the same motherfuckers that sit back and go to court and tell the judge that you was a rapist, you abusive, false protection orders, and you abuse to your kids, you touching your kids and all this shit, and you get no custody, you gotta pay child support, and you never see your kids again. See,
right.
These false allegations that's been going on, this Me Too. I told y'all, Me Too, the term Me Too has been around since back in the day when these Al Karens was accusing quote unquote slave black men as the raping them, when in actuality she was having sex with them willingly and threatening them to have sex, or else she was gonna lie anyway and say she was great.
Right.
Emmett Till situation, she lied about him, and a lot of black men back in slavery and probably before then was being hanged, getting they thing cut off, they getting thrown in an alligator swamp, they getting cut up, stabbed up, and everything else because these Al Karen baby mama terrorists. This is why I tell you the Al Karen baby mama terrorists is the worst baby mama terrorists on the planet. You can't make this shit up.
Hey, that ain't no different from the Wall Street, Black Wall Street. It started because a white woman told a story about a black man touched her inappropriately.
And that's another thing. Al Karens are known for destroying communities, counties, townships, Rosewood, the town up in Arkansas. You have Shabuda, Mississippi, people getting hanged over the bridge and shit. See, that's what I'm saying. Don't ever think that the Al Watermelon niches are the worst of the worst. No, these motherfuckers got historic when it comes to these Me Too isms. See, Me Too, that term always been around where these suck ass white dudes white knighting for these motherfuckers, knowing damn well she was a whore, knowing damn well she's lying, knowing damn well she took it from that man, particularly the black slave or the black man, and they took her side anyway. These are the original simping forces.
Here I come to save the day.
And this is why now the white men are the new niggas when it comes to family court and child support. But they ain't gonna talk about that. So I just want y'all to get a clear understanding. This same person who was for abortion, never had an abortion. She had 3 kids. She didn't protect herself. She didn't prevent pregnancies. And she just admitted that she was never raped. She was never forced. Wasn't no reproductive coercions and all this shit. See, this is what I want y'all to understand. So when you see these black women go out there with the Al Karens and come with that my body, my choice and reproductive rights and all that shit, I'm gonna let Denzel speak again for Malcolm X.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Yes, this is very historic.
I was doing an interview with Carl Rowan. Carl had came to my house with his crew, and he says, Norma, I want to talk to you about the rape. I went to my doctor. He confirmed that I was pregnant, and I told him I wanted an abortion.
You were raped?
I thought, I'll just go ahead and tell the truth. Well, why not? No, I wasn't.
You were not?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, so all those stories are not true?
Yes, sir. Yes.
They're not true.
Right.
It just shocked me. And I just thought, oh no, Roe versus Wade had nothing to do with whether she was raped. There was absolutely no mention in the Roe versus Wade decision. But most people think that Roe versus Wade was decided because the woman was raped. So now she's lied. She wasn't raped, so Roe versus Wade is invalid. I think many people thought that.
It is the home of Norma McCorvey. Buckshots in the front door, the only signs of the terror seen here early Tuesday.
Some people came by and shot up my car at 4:40 a.m. in the morning. They turned around. They shut out my living room windows, blew away my storm door.
Some pro-choice group members say with several abortion rallies planned for this weekend, what happened here may be the tip of the iceberg.
I've just been hiding out in hotels, to which I cannot afford.
No word on whether the shooting incident will keep McCorvey from speaking at an abortion rally in Washington this Sunday.
That's when I made my decision about going to the Washington.
See how she played victim all of a sudden? I ain't do nothing. I ain't do nothing wrong. I was just minding my business.
Right. But so before we get off into her going to DC, what was interesting about them talking about the whole grape charge, what the other woman said was about how this was never brought up in the Supreme Court hearing. And she's right. But that's another interesting point. So the interview where she admitted to the world that that was never the case, that's not what happened, that took place in about 1987. Now, mind you, the Roe baby was 69, 70. So it wasn't until 1987-ish that we found out that all of that was a lie. So when the Supreme Court hearing was actually going down, everybody was under the impression that she had been raped. Everybody thought that. Now, for two female attorneys to be leading this.
She did say she was great, though. She said
right. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. For you to have two female attorneys that are running this whole charade in the Supreme Court, the fact that the grape was never brought up, because up until 87, y'all thought that was a true story. So if you thought it was a true story, there was no evidence that it was a lie. Why is it that two female attorneys did not bring this up in the Supreme Court? The reason why is because to bring this up would be to identify that we need abortion rights for victims of rape, victims of incest, and for issues where there are safety concerns with the women. But that's not what they wanted. They want abortions on demand. That's why it was never brought up.
They want it based off when I feel like not taking responsibility for my fucked up actions.
Exactly. It was never brought up in court. And up until 87, the Supreme Court decision was in 73. It wasn't until 87 that we found out that was a lie. So why else would that not have been brought up in court?
Of course. They knew she was a lying whore also. That's why another reason why they put it up there. They knew. So that's why I say these baby mama tell these Me Too motherfuckers, they stick together even when it's a lie. They will come out the woodwork, say, yeah, I was touched by him too, and he ain't never met the hoe. So look at all these people that getting caught up or have been caught up and lost their livelihood because of saying he did this and he did that to me. Right.
So this next segment is going to be leading up to when she got upset with the pro-choice movement. And I understand her being upset. She wasn't allowed to be the front runner, but we gonna let that go ahead and play out. So go ahead and press play, Mr. Palmer.
Well, that was she did get mad about the people with the boys because she wasn't allowed to speak because they didn't want trash on the set. They didn't want her to speak. That's why you've been on the back burner all the time. See, even she got used and sent the fuck off. She didn't get the attention that she wanted. She didn't get the notoriety. She didn't get the fame like that. But what's your take on them airing out of house? What's your take on that? Do you think the black men did it? Because, they say black men do drive-bys. So do you think the black man did it?
No, I actually think that that was probably due to a lot of anti-abortion people just out there protesting, finding out because now all these truths are starting to come out, finding out who she is, where she lives, and they decided, hey, we don't stand for this. In our eyes, this is MURDER. We don't stand for this. I really think it was some anti-abortion individuals that actually went and lit up her house.
And it also might have been some suckers that really believe her ass.
Right.
It might be some people that actually believe her ass. I want to give a shout out to Eli Soul for the $10 donation. Said, great live, Mr. Palmer. Shout out from Switzerland. Shout out to Switzerland, my brother. Shout out to y'all. Be careful out there, because there's baby mama tears out there too. All them European countries with them feminist ideologies and shit. So be careful. Let's continue.
Word on whether the shooting incident will keep McCorvey from speaking at an abortion rally in Washington this Sunday.
That's when I made my decision about going to the Washington March.
Here we go. 1989, a Supreme Court case threatens Roe versus Wade. In response, 300,000 protesters converge on Washington, D.C.
World News Sunday. Good evening. Not since the height of the Vietnam War have so many people marched in Washington as did today in the name of legalized abortion.
They came from all over because of their concern that the Supreme Court may reverse the right to a legal abortion. Leading the protest was a large contingent of celebrities.
And I'm here to say to the... Look who we got here, y'all. Look who we got here. Look who the fuck we got here.
Oh, Whoopi.
Oh, good old Whoopi. Oh, girl, I'll be in trouble if I sexed you wild, because I don't know no man that would fuck her, and I just don't know why. No. I don't know why the fuck she up there, because nobody want her motherfucking ass. Not a black man.
Hey, it was about the fame and celebrity, and we need all these high-profile individuals to speak on behalf of women all around the world. It's all propaganda. All of it is propaganda. It's all staged and smoke and mirrors.
And just so y'all know, for just people to just in case, her real name is not Whoopi Goldberg. I just want y'all motherfuckers to understand. This
I didn't know that.
Oh, you did? I'm just saying her real name. Her name. I don't know. I forgot her real name because I don't give a fuck. But her real name is not Whoopi Goldberg. So on that note, let Denzel speak on behalf of Malcolm X.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been
Oh man. Yeah. Yes. Her name is not Whoopi Goldberg.
Interesting.
Now, I want y'all to understand that I want you to see all these white women and a couple of sucker dudes. You see this one black woman right here? Oh man, her name is Carolyn Elaine Johnston. You can't make this shit.
Biatch.
You can't make this shit up.
Biatch.
She rather be Jewish than a black woman.
That's interesting.
That's her real name, yes.
But she looks more like a Whoopi.
Yeah, she got the right name, Whoopi. But look at this black woman right here. I'm one of y'all. You 3/3 or 3/5 of a human.
They came from all over because of their concern that the Supreme Court may reverse the right to a legal abortion. Leading the protest was a large contingent of celebrities.
And I'm here to say to the Supreme Court, I will make it my job to make sure that we have safe, clean abortion.
Never about safety.
Right hands of white supremacy. Go ahead. I want y'all here again, but go ahead, Dallas. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying it was never about safety. It was about abortion on demand. Ain't got nothing to do with safety.
Nope.
Safe, clean abortion.
I met Norma McCorvey at the huge pro-choice rally in Washington.
Now, y'all know who this is because y'all see all in the news today. Gloria Allred. She was Norma's, Jane Roe former attorney. So I just want y'all to know who she is. Y'all seen her face. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just want y'all to know that's who it is. Battle Test say I got a villain laugh. Yeah, a lot of people say I should be doing that. That what's that shit they call when you like them commercials when you, I guess in the cartoons and shit.
Voiceovers.
Yeah, voiceovers and shit.
Washington, D.C.
Yeah, voiceovers.
It was a chance meeting. She told me who she was, and I asked her if she was speaking at the rally, and she said she had not been invited to speak. She was very upset. She felt that she was an activist and wanted to be an activist in support of the right to choose abortion.
I would like to.
Let's go back to that. Let's go back to this because she's looking like this because she didn't get the attention that she wanted. She didn't become the actor that she wanted. Basically, what they did was a Bill Withers.
Keep on using me until you use me up.
So he see how, you know, this will happen with the Me Too. What's her name that started the Me Too? I call her KRS-One. But
I can't think of her name.
I call her KRS-One because that's what she look like. KRS-One in rare form. But
you're right, she does.
Yeah, she's like KRS-One or Ben Grimm off you know, the Fantastic Four. So, but whoever she is, she was doing the same shit, and the white feminist, Al Karen, took that over. The only time she was on the front line when she was going up against R. Kelly and Richard, what's his name? Simmons. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Tarana Burke. Yeah, her name looked like her face looked like a Burke. So I mean, she only went again. Then when somebody asked, they said, "Why you not going against the white guys who getting accused of sexual activities and stuff like that?" She said, "Oh, we not dealing with that right now." They was only against black celebrities and black men.
Right. None of the scenes, and they the most egregious.
Exactly. So that's the only time she was the face when it comes to Me Too. So let me let Denzel speak on behalf of Malcolm X again for you dumb motherfuckers in the back.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Yes. So she got paid to be the front and sit in the back burner. Now she's mad because she's not able to speak. She want to be an activist. It's about me. And she was salty. She's just there.
Upset. She felt that she was an activist and wanted to be an activist in support of the right to choose abortion.
I would like to introduce some of the very special people who are here today and whose presence has a very important significance. First, Sybil Shepherd.
Another celebrity.
Another celebrity.
Thank you for coming.
The pro-choice people, they never gave me an opportunity. You know, they just, well, no, she can't speak. What?
She was not the poster girl.
They didn't want your trash ass speaking. They didn't want your ass to come out there with your cigarettes smoking and your fur burger tickling and shit. They didn't want your funky broke ass. No, they wanted, like you said, celebrities. You said celebrities, actors, and somebody that had, you know, the blue eyes, the long hair, that look young, that look like something
polished.
You know? Exactly, somebody polished. So she been sent off and used up too. And like this woman just said, whoever she is, she was not the poster girl.
That would have been helpful to the pro-choice movement. However, an articulate, educated person could not have been the plaintiff in Roe versus Wade.
The battle is not over today.
I'm a very uneducated person. I'm not a demure, quiet, picture-perfect, white-gloved lady.
Abortion.
And that's what they try to use with me when I first came on YouTube with this fuck child support shit. I was a dumb nigga off Cottage Grove. I sleep on a couch, broke, ain't worth a shit, running for child support, all this shit. But I'm like, well, I come from a 2-parent household. I've never been to jail. I worked for the county 15 years. I've never been homeless, never had welfare. So that's why I just keep doing my you dig and say,
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
I don't need nobody to put me in front lines in front of them when I could just do it on my own. You know what I'm saying? See, that's what she was so dumb about. She had to get somebody to put her up there if possible because she didn't have the capability to do it herself. That's why it's important, man, to call this shit out, speak your purpose, do for self. You know what I'm saying? Stop being quiet. Don't be weak like this bum ass bitch over here. She thought that they was gonna pull up and hook her up. Now they just want to use her. They used her. Her own people used her. So that's why I am a dumb nigga. I'm a deadbeat. Dumb nigga all kinds. Grow, sleep on the couch, run up a child support. Yes. And my mama black. Everything, hell yeah. But prove me wrong when I call out this fuckery, just like me and D is doing today. So, you know, so you coming here talking about black men, most men don't want to be fathers and all that shit, but you still didn't answer that question when about the 60 million abortions.
But you know what? But that goes back to the whole propaganda thing, the fact that you had to be polished to speak on behalf of this. And take away everything negative about Norma McCorvey, aka Jane Roe. Take away all the drugs and the alcohol and the gallivanting. How can the woman who is the name behind the Roe v. Wade decision not be speaking or invited to speak at a pro-choice rally? I understand why she felt the way she did.
Oh, I understand to the fullest. She had that right. But what I'm saying is you was used.
Right.
They didn't give a fuck about you. You just a front runner. They just wanted you to be the victim on paperwork, but not really in, you know, shake some hands and how you doing, but talk up there with them, you don't fit the caliber. See, you want to know what's worse than a nigga to a racist white person is
a lover.
Exactly. They shun broke white people or trailer park white people more than they do niggas. I'm just saying. They shun. See, a lot of it is about class.
Right.
It's about class.
Hey, that's the same thing I said about Trump. I don't necessarily think that Trump was racist. I think he was about classism. And if you wasn't on his level, you just wasn't on his level.
About class. In my opinion, yeah, about class. I mean, he did some Klan shit, if that's what you want to call it, because he said lock up the 5 people from New York, whatever you call it. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't had nothing to do with what a good old our new president had did when he signed off the crime bill and all this shit. So somebody who talks some shit versus somebody that actually made law to destroy black people and black men particularly, it's a difference. But y'all say he was what do you say? They say he was, what do you say? You don't vote for me, you're not black. And y'all say he's right because you're not black if you don't vote for this motherfucking Biden. I'm just saying. Okay. But yes, let's continue. She's salty about that. She has every right to be. You got sent off and used.
Must be legal, safe, accessible.
After the rape thing, they didn't feel like she would help protect Roe versus Wade. Even if she wanted to do that, they were scared.
Because she was a liar.
That she had been denied the opportunity to be recognized and be acknowledged.
Which really set me on fire. I'll do it now just to show you I can do it.
And I'd like to introduce Norma McCorvey, also known as Jane Roe, the plaintiff in the very famous Roe versus Wade Supreme Court decision.
It's been hard enough for me to come out as Jane Roe and to step into the limelight, so to speak.
She's here today coming out of hiding for this, and we appreciate her courage. Don't we?
We did tons of media. Gloria and I just fell in like with each other.
Anti-abortionists say that the whole Roe versus Wade case is based on fraud. That you first claimed that you were raped and then later changed the story. Can you illuminate on that? Well, that's the way it was back in 1969, especially in Texas.
When you say that's the way it was, what?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So the lady asked, she said, first you claimed that you was raped and then later you changed the story. She said, what's your response to it? She gonna say, well, that's how it was in 1969.
Nah, you lied because you wanted an abortion.
And
you thought that was the easiest way to get it. It had nothing to do with a weight.
See how dumb these motherfuckers do? That's why you ask these baby mama Taz out while Melnisha the same shit. Why would you put them on child support if you take care of the kid? Then they say, well, you know, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. I mean, my mama did it. There's a lot of Jesse Smollett's out here. See, that's what I say. He's just a new age. This has been going on for a long time. And then, you know, of course, a lawyer gonna twist the shit around. But let's go back to that. But see, even this lawyer used her, even though she pretended like she helping her get some attention, it's making her look good.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the same lawyers that represent us as, you know, we trying to get equal rights and be a father, be involved and shit like that. These are the same motherfuckers.
I wish you to say that the whole Roe versus Wade case is based on fraud. That you first claimed that you were raped and then later changed the story. Can you illuminate on any of that?
Well, that's the way it was back in 1969, especially in Texas.
When you say that's the way it was, what are you referring to?
Well, lying to try to get an abortion.
You have
See, and you know what? This is why a lot of black men were lynched, fucked up, and actually got families destroyed because of these bitches right here, because they'll say the same shit. Well, that's just the way it was back in the 1950s and 1940s. That's the way it was. You know, I didn't want to, you know, be caught up being a whore. So I just, you know, blame on him and get away with it. Same shit. That's why these baby mama tell do what they do. Even these black ones, they do the same shit because they want to be able to get away with the bullshit that they done got themselves into. Shout out to Julius Mays for the $5 donation. They said, hold up. She lied about being great and they praise her still? Yes, Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns. Yes. They will not go against the code. They will not go against the code. They don't care. You know what Tasha said? Can you leave Texas out of this?
Hey, but all this started in Texas.
It started in Texas, though. Hey, that's what I'm saying, man. Shout out to Julius Mays. But yeah, and let's continue.
Excuse me, I don't think that she has capitalized on this at all. To the contrary, it has cost her physically, emotionally, financially.
Could you tell us how much you make a year?
Did you see that sad face, Mr. Palmer?
Very much.
Yes, and I was glad to see when they asked how much she made as a cleaner woman. Yeah, stupid ass. That's why. And now I see why a lot of them said, "Nah, we don't want her to speak. We don't want her to say shit. We just let her be the face and just be quiet." Now I understand, because you're gonna say some stupid shit. That's just the way it was in the 1960s. That's just how it was in Texas. Shit.
Excuse me, I don't think that she has capitalized on this at all. To the contrary, it has cost her physically, emotionally, financially.
You saw that look on her face? Like, I ain't made nothing out of this shit.
Financial.
She's like, I ain't make none out of this shit. And I'm still.
But she going into her sad acting. She's back to acting again.
She can't act worth shit though. Yeah.
Could you tell us how much you make a year?
I don't charge very much.
What do you clean houses or?
I clean houses, condos, apartments. Well, does anybody here need a good house clean lady? She flew Connie and I out to Southern California.
May I wish you the very best?
Thank you very much. You're kind of like a hick out of Hickville. That's fun.
Definitely a hick.
54 or 56 interviews in a week. Then we went to fight Operation Rescue. They were chanting about Jane Roe, total lie, that's why all the babies die, or something like that. I'm going like, oh, please, I could think of something better than that, you know, in my sleep.
For us, Jane Roe was like Adolf Hitler or Goebbels would be with the Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
Was the face of this evil that was brought on our country by the Roe v. Wade decision.
It's ludicrous. They are sending women back to the back streets. Abortion will continue, whether it is legal or not. Women will die from this.
Jane Roe is every woman who's ever been denied anything in her whole life, because we've all been denied something at some point. So we're all Jane Roes.
She was a star on the pro-abortion side, and her presence couldn't possibly be ignored.
You cannot make this shit up. Dallas D. Before we get
Yes,
to the next one, yes, I believe she is just as big as Adolf Hitler.
totally agree.
I agree with that.
Totally agree. And everybody behind the Narelle movement is that's the same thing. That's all it is. This is eugenics. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. It's genocide. You can call it what you want to call it. You can feel the way you want to feel. But if abortion just allows you to not be responsible for your actions, for your mistakes, for the lifestyle that you engage in, then this is genocide, all to escape accountability. And
Right.
it's bullshit.
And I want y'all to understand that the purpose of this, we talking about all this shit that they've been talking about, Roe versus Wade, and she's the martyr and all this. They lied to y'all for a very long time. And not only that, she did not even have her own abortions.
Right.
And and y'all out there protesting all this shit. It's not even about reproductive rights. It's not even about what they so-called put out there. What it's about is escaping responsibility.
Right.
For they
But
fuck.
then the story gets interesting.
Yes,
So
it is.
through all this pro-choice, all the way up to 1989, we still pro-choice. Women have the right to abort. She switched sides, and a lot of people don't know that. Jane Roe, the abortion martyr,
Yep.
went
Say
from
it
being
again.
what
Say
was
it
that?
again. No, I was gonna say it again. Repeat that again. What this
Yeah.
motherfucker did.
The abortion martyr went from being pro-choice all the way over to pro-life.
Did y'all know that Norma, the Jane Roe, crossed over and went over to pro-choice?
Life.
Pro-life. I'm so used to her being abortion. She became pro-life. Shout out to Uncle Stu, old man on the block, for the $5 donation. Appreciate you, my brother. Did y'all know that she crossed over to pro-life? This is the big martyr who was against, what's that? She was against not stopping abortions and making it legal whenever you want to do it. She went over and converted to pro-life. Shout out to my man David for the $4.99. He said sloppy top, condoms, and abortion equals same outcome. No children, abolish child support though. Shout out to you, my brother.
And that's the purpose behind this all, because if she has the right to abandon or deny or her parental responsibilities and obligations, then when Roe v. Wade is redone, it needs to be Roe v. all. We all get to abandon our parental responsibilities. We all get to walk away. We all get to exercise the 14th Amendment, because the 14th Amendment is not a woman's right. It's an American citizen's right.
Exactly. It's for man and woman. So I don't believe this bullshit when you hear Roe versus Wade. Oh, it's for abortions. It's not about abortion. It's about having the right to choose to be a mother or a father.
Right.
That shit they've been putting out here is a lie. It's propaganda. It's political, of course, and it's definitely a movement for the Me Too feminist motherfuckers, these baby mama terrorists. That shit is supposed to be Roe versus Wade is supposed to be for a man or a woman's choice to escape their responsibility of being a parent. It's not about reproductive rights and all that shit. So on that note, again, let me let Denzel speak on behalf of Malcolm X.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Because they try to use this Roe versus Wade shit as a human right. So if it's a human right, then it goes for man and woman, not just woman. See, that's why D just said the 14th Amendment is for American people, not American woman. But see how they tell us that it's for a woman's reproductive right? They twist this whole narrative around. You out there fighting some bullshit that ain't even reason, ain't even real, ain't even nothing, ain't got nothing to do with the shit. It's a right to walk away for his or her responsibility.
Right. And they don't word it like that. They word it as Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Individuals get to determine their future. And if having a baby interferes with your life, your liberty, or your pursuit of happiness, you have the right to determine your future, which gave women the right to have an abortion. So if they use that terminology, that you have the right to determine your future, you have the right to exercise life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that's not a woman's right. That is an American citizen's right. So we're gonna roll the all. Everybody gets to walk away. Everybody gets to determine their future. Another thing they say in there is that the 14th Amendment, no state shall deny life, liberty, or property without due process. How many men are being denied property without due process because of child support?
Right. And you hear a lot of brothers say, I didn't get my due process. I didn't get my due process. That's exactly what it means.
Right.
What it means. So, I mean, now we already know how the laws got it when it comes to child support. We know it's there, but what I'm trying to let you know, this Roe versus Wade is not just for no woman and a reproductive right. That's the lies and smoke and mirrors that they trying to put out here. I just want to let y'all know that's not the truth. They just took it and ran with it to destroy you men or us as men. So that's why I want you to understand. Now let's talk about this next one.
So the next one is when she actually switched over to becoming pro-life. And I want y'all to pay attention to the things that she says when she switched over. She claims she did it for this reason and that reason, but she was given what she always wanted. And I don't know if that's the reason why she switched over. I don't know if she had a religious awakening. I don't know what the truth is, because you never get the full truth out of Norma McCorvey.
Right.
But you can see both sides of that.
Yes, she's an actor. She's attention seeker. She'll do anything for attention and boobs.
Right.
The nominees are Holly Hunter for Roe versus Wade. We warned you that this might happen way back when we first met.
You let me think that, and you let me hope, and now I gotta have this baby, and I can't even find a job.
And the Emmy goes to Holly Hunter.
I would really like to thank the real life Jane Roe, Norma McCorvey, for continuing to fight.
Back in Dallas, I was still working in an abortion clinic.
Behind me here is an abortion mill where little baby boys and girls die. And outside of the abortion mill are Christian moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas living out their faith in the streets.
The pro-lifers were out on the sidewalk every weekend.
Oh, this froze up.
Did it?
Dallas.
Yeah.
I was still working in an abortion clinic.
Behind me here is an abortion mill where little baby boys and girls die. And outside of the abortion mill are Christian moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas living out their faith in the streets.
The pro-lifers were out on the sidewalk every weekend.
They don't want you sharing this content, Mr. Palmer.
Yeah, let me see.
Try to go forward a little bit.
Your baby, and I say, oh shit, shut up. I had a job to counsel women to make sure that they were making the right decisions for themselves. And I've told I don't know how many young women, as long as you think you're doing right, then you're doing right.
How would they feel if we went to their churches and said, no, you can't go in there?
Jane Roe was the poster child for abortion. She was their prize. And there was talk that had to be dealt with.
One Thursday morning, Connie called me from work because we worked at the same clinic.
I called her and I told her, I said, never believe who's moving next door. And she said, who? I said, you're not going to, in a million years, you'd never guess. Well, tell me. Operation Rescue.
Norma McCorvey has an unwelcome new neighbor. Operation Rescue and its national director, Flip Bennett.
We've come to live right next to this place and give mothers an informed choice.
God just worked a miracle so that we could move right next door to her office, Choice for Women.
They told me it was just an accident. I'm going like.
Let's go back to this.
Move right next door to her office, Choice for Women.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. See, when these baby mama terrorists go up in there, they be thinking they going to church. We going to the chop chop. I used to hear him go to the chop chop when I was working in the county, and I had to take these baby mama terrorists to the abortion clinic because they did it once a week. It'd be like a 75 to 100 motherfuckers standing in line like a fucking train to go get an abortion. And I'll never forget one time when I'm walking past the motherfuckers and one bitch was pregnant, going in line to do an abortion, try to holler at me. And I wanted to punch in her jaw. You know what I'm saying? Because I was definitely against abortions. And like I say, they was going up in there like it wasn't shit. You know, we are going to see the king. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We going to see the king. That's how they felt when they was going up to get their abortion, like it wasn't shit. You had a few guys that with them because they like, hey, I agree with this. But for the most of them, they was by themselves. I even seen a couple of dudes try to run in there to try to stop the shit. And they end up getting thrown out or arrested and shit like that. You know what I mean? They didn't even let the male transporters, like me, I could only take them to the door. I couldn't go all the way in there. One day, I went all the way in there, and the nurse like, yo, you can't come here. You can't come here. You a man. And I said out loud front, I said, motherfucker, ain't none of these kids, man. I don't give a fuck. And went the fuck out. They must start laughing and shit. You know, that's how strict they was when it come to a man going there, because they know that somebody's going to probably try to fight them, stop them, or whatever. So I'm just saying, look at them. Proud.
But you know what's crazy about that? You saying that how they harass men for going in those establishments. Now think about the irony behind it. You got two open lesbians who can't produce, who cannot reproduce, working in an abortion clinic, advising other women that they're making the right decision. And you two can't produce together.
Right. Talk about decisions. Yep. So it is what it is. But I just want to show you, yeah, here we go.
Told me it was just an accident. I'm going like, I said, Flip, don't try to con an old con.
She was just spitting and fuming and calling me every F word that she could, because the F word was one of her favorites, and I was that.
I told them they were damn liars, and that they better check with their God to make sure that they were still going to go to heaven.
She would call up and put crazy things like on a recordo phone saying, hey, we're having barbecued babies today. Would you like some, Flip? Would you like to come over and have some barbecued babies with us today?
I want you to hear what he said that they was saying to him. And they looked at the boys like it was a joke. Do you want to have barbecue babies?
Right.
But guess who get 85% of custody of our boys and girls, though? These same baby mama terrorists.
To joke about something like that.
Yeah, fried barbecue, baby barbecue. And this is why these motherfuckers are the most abusive when it comes to the child, the most neglectful when it comes to the child, and they cause the most child fatalities when it comes to the child, because they don't give a fuck about the child. Most of these motherfuckers have children for the wrong reason. I'm gonna say it again. Most of these motherfuckers have children for the wrong reasons. Most men want a child. Go ahead, Dallas.
Check babies.
Yeah, check babies. Attention. Some of them do it because they want a doll. They want a son husband. They want a mini-me. Be a piece of shit like them. They want to
try to force you to stay in the relationship.
Right. They want to keep a man. They want to pass down the generational curse of being, the right hands of white supremacy. All these different things on why they have children. Anything but to be a mother, to be nurturing, to be teaching love, and to be a protector.
But you see why they didn't want her speaking, right? Because she say shit like that.
Yes, because she'll be saying, Reverend X.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
Yeah, in her terms, in her poor white trash term. So yeah, I understand why they want her to talk. She could talk in the abortion clinic because, you know, most of them piece of shits they come in there gonna agree with her anyway.
Right.
So I get it. But let's continue. Let's hear it again. You know, barbecued, and you call us coons? Yeah.
Phone saying, hey, we're having barbecued babies today. Would you like some, Flip? Would you like to come over and have some barbecued babies with us today?
One day, I was sitting on the bench having a cigarette. He come over and he says, can I have a seat here? I said, there's been abortion ass sitting over here. I said, if you can sit on abortion ass, I said, go for it.
He got to talking to her and being nice to her, being phony like he can be when he's talking to somebody he wants to get over.
Girlfriend jealous.
And her little truck was parked right over here. I imagine she still got that red, ugly truck. And I said, Miss Norma, what are we going to do? And she said, well, I don't know. And that was the first time she actually communicated with me. And I said, would you come here with me for a minute? I have something I want to tell you. And there was a bench right here. And she and I sat down. She sat on this side, and I sat here.
That's when he gave me his testimony. And he was a badass, a sinner, just like everyone else, womanizer. You know, he did it all. It's kind of like my life.
When I saw this lady who was totally lost in her own mess, I saw me. I knew what she needed.
Then he just felt kind of quiet. And he said, do you like what you're doing?
That's interesting.
Very.
Do you like what you're doing? And notice she didn't answer it just like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to continue to play because it went pause, and you're going to see the aftermath of that.
Miss Norma, do you have the assurance that your sins are forgiven through Jesus Christ, our Lord?
Yes, I do.
Do you renounce the devil and his works and the sinful desires of the flesh?
Yes, I do.
Look at the look on this nigga face.
The girlfriend.
Look at the look. Yeah, this our boyfriend. Look at the look on this nigga face right here. Look at the look on his face, because now she's finna get what, D?
Baptized. Born again. All of that.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Yeah, I thought I was a man too.
It's all forgiven. You're brand new. Nobody could do that but Jesus. I baptize you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Watch the girlfriend.
Hallelujah! Here she is!
I want y'all to understand, it's not just the black preachers that could be full of shit. I want you to understand that you got white preachers that do the same shit. I mean, a lot of niggas follow their leader. So honestly, in my opinion, you know, from what I've been saying and what I've been knowing about this shit, he should have left her down there. I'm just saying. Dallas, go ahead and talk about this right quick.
Yeah, so it was interesting to me when I found out not only did she become pro-life, but that she actually got baptized. But what was interesting about this is her reasons why she did it. And of course, you know, to be turning your life over to Christ and bringing your long-term girlfriend to sit right there and watch. So y'all can see why the girlfriend was looking the way she was looking. Because the girlfriend's like, hold on, what the hell are you doing? We got a whole relationship and you giving your life over to Christ, talking about all your sins have been forgiven.
Right.
But the girlfriend know who Jane Roe really is too. You guys consider that. They've been in a 25, 26 year relationship at this point. Yeah.
25-year relationship. And I want y'all to understand she actually stopped having sex with her.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting too, because and later on when she goes back and forth about why she did it, all of it's bullshit. Because you want to act like you did this because of this reason or that it was fake, but yet and still, once you got baptized, she actually cut off her sexual relationship with her girlfriend. So if you're doing something for the glitz and glamour or front stage, then you do that in public, but not in private. She exercised this in private. She actually stopped having a sexual relationship with her girlfriend. They stayed friends and they lived together for 10 years, but they moved into separate bedrooms and the girlfriend was upset about it.
Right. So that makes me wonder, the shit you said, you know, we'll let y'all see it, but that just made me wonder, is this really, was this shit, this must have been real. Because why would you cut ties with her having sex? You know what I'm saying? If you weren't really about changing yourself. And yeah, it's possible you can change yourself. I don't knock that, but you know, you fake because you flip-flopping, you a counterfeit ass dollar, and y'all worshiping Sky Daddy. I'm just saying that's a whole nother segment. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We gonna see the King.
Let the church say amen.
Amen. Well. Let's continue.
Hallelujah! Here she is! Miss Norma Leah McCorvey, born again Christian. Hallelujah!
Yeah, the girlfriend was not feeling that.
When she jumped from spawn of Satan to a child of God, it just turned everything in this world upside down.
Yeah, so we got to get to the next segment, boy. But yeah, she decided to go with Jesus, and now she decided that she is pro-life. You can't make this shit up. I gotta let Denzel speak for Malcolm X before I let Dallas D let y'all know what's the next one about.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
I've been delivered. I've been delivered. I've been delivered. Go ahead, Dallas D.
Yeah, so the next segment is gonna be, I guess, pretty much her rise in fame with the pro-life movement. They gave her the platform she wanted. They gave her the attention that she wanted. They gave her the stardom that she had been chasing her entire life. So it's going to be real interesting to see how engaged she gets with this pro-life movement. Like I said, I don't know if she had a religious awakening or if she really was just doing this because they gave her the attention that the other side didn't get. But like I said, if you did it for the attention, that's public. But you cut off your girlfriend in private. So we got to uncover, like I said, the entire Supreme Court case predicated on this nonsense right here.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. We gonna see the King.
Ms. McCorvey, what happened?
Well, I've modified my religious path.
Right.
Now I've changed my position on choice.
You realize that over the years, you became something of a symbol of a woman's right to choose. You must have given a great deal of thought over these last few weeks and months about the impact that you're going to have on the movement itself. Do you care?
I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing it for anyone else.
Does it occur to you that you may also be being used now by the Operation Rescue people for their purposes?
No, sir. And I will not let them use me.
That was like being given the Academy Award. She was our Oscar, and we were going to put her on the mantle and show her off.
And they did.
And you know what? You want to know the difference between this pro-choice movement versus the difference between the pro-life movement versus the pro-choice? They put her on the front line. They put her as the head. They put her as the martyr, as the statue. They didn't have no problem with it. So she's definitely going to go out there and smile and say whatever need to be said.
But think about it. Why would you not? The person that the Roe v. Wade was decided on for you, of all people on the planet, to cross over to pro-life, you gotta be center stage.
Yes, but the feminist movement wasn't having it on the other end. So,
Right.
and plus, she did say she had an epiphany. So, yeah, she's the original Lil Flip Wilson. She's the Flip Wilson. Yes, sir. Shout out to Dirty Folks. Dirty Folks he said she had a thought. Toddlers can't think. They just do shit. I agree. That's why they run to the clinics. That's why they do the shit they do. Run to the courts, do all these different shit.
But you notice when they asked her, was that side using her? She said, no, I refuse to let them use me.
Right.
All right, go ahead and play.
Yes, sir.
I set out immediately to bring her to Washington, D.C. and put her on a national stage. There was nobody like Norma in our movement. Nobody.
Could you tell us why you're here this weekend? Well, I'm here this weekend to speak here in Washington, D.C. I've never had that privilege before, and the pro-life movement that I've encompassed now has given me that opportunity.
Right.
I want y'all to hear that again.
Well, I'm here this weekend to speak here in Washington, D.C. I've never had that privilege before, and the pro-life movement that I've encompassed now has given me that opportunity.
The whole event was structured as a memorial service, a kind of funeral. We actually had fetal remains in a tiny casket.
Starting to do that shit. Let me skip it a little bit.
And Norma McCorvey lives in Jesus' name.
Goddamn.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. You got a Bible?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being so terribly, terribly dumb. And so naive. I thought I was doing something right. I didn't realize that I would be leading innocent children to a senseless.
This is the same Jane Roe that y'all was supporting, going out there fighting and boycotting and putting your pink ass clicks on your head and shit. Yeah, she's doing a damn good job. And now she says that I am pro-life now. I'm not pro-choice. I'm for pro-life, and I want to be forgiven for my sins. I got baptized in Sky Daddy's name, and I want you to hear what she's saying. She's sorry. Now, people can change. People can repent. I mean, it's in the Bible, it's in the Quran. People change for doing evil. I get that. But, this motherfucker right here is now saying she's sorry that she lead innocent children to the fire. Yeah, she's doing a good job. I gotta admit, she's doing a good job, even if it's true on what she's really saying. And I think it is to a certain point, because she cut off the man dude that she was with. So I have to believe that it was some type of truth to it. But I have to let her hear the anthem. Yeah, she's doing a good job.
Bitch, you doing a good job. Bitch, you doing a good job. Bitch, you doing a good job. Bitch, you doing a good job. Fuck that laundry. Fuck that dish. Take a break and shake that shit.
Shake that shit. Yeah. She's doing a good job. She's doing a damn good job. Let's continue.
That I would be leading innocent children to a senseless.
Look at that acting.
Yeah. She's gay.
And terrible death.
There is someone who would like to say and do something special for you.
I believe I speak for all of us when we say, we forgive you in Jesus' name.
It was not just a comeback, it was a comeback with such adulation, because the antis were so thrilled.
Jane Roe was now on our side. We were winning this social war.
It's hard for me to imagine how she came to terms with, I don't know, betrayal. It's a betrayal that she did.
Now, what I want to know before we get to the oxygen tank, I want to know, how did they really think they was winning? The laws ain't changed. I mean,
well, you got to think. That whole protest that she wasn't allowed to speak at was in what, 1989. So they have been constantly introducing different laws that started to pick away or nip at Roe v. Wade. And when we're gonna have to do a part 2, because it's so we haven't even covered half of what we want to go over.
Yeah, that's why I say we gotta do a part, but it's good, it's cool because they can watch this again, they can marinate it, take clips. Y'all been had. Let me let Denzel do it. I don't want to do it. Let Denzel speak for Malcolm X.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Yeah. So we gonna get to this next with the oxygen mask hissing and shit. You know what I mean? But you know, like I say, man, I want you to give them a little backtrack of what we've seen so far about this Jane Roe.
So just for anybody just tuning in, we're just uncovering the whole Jane Roe situation. And for me, even though we're talking about Jane Roe and everything negative that she encompassed, everything, all the lies that were told, the purpose of this is not to bash Jane Roe. The purpose of this is to uncover the lies that were built around this Supreme Court case and why we're here today. And why, like I said before, there have been little bitty cases that have been nipping away at this whole Jane Roe v. Wade decision. And so they keep introducing things. And so every time a new president comes into place and they put new justices in place, they're strategically putting justices in place that they will hope will get them the vote that they want. Because in all honesty, what a lot of people don't know is in 1973, they had the votes to not make Roe v. Wade federally legal. But because of public opinion, because of things like this, they decided, well, either they were pressured by public opinion or family members or whatever the case may be, all the lies that were told in the media stories, all the fake news stories that were printed, the fact that they said 60% of Americans supported abortion, 87% of doctors were for abortion, all of that was lies. And it was lies to basically enrage the crowd. No different from this leak now. Matter of fact, what a lot of people don't know, and we'll cover this in part 2, was that in 1973, before the Roe v. Wade decision, they leaked those documents too. And the documents were leaked because there was a vote to make it legal. And one of the justices was not happy with that. He wanted to have a retrial. So they was like, you know what? We ain't doing that. We're going to let everybody know that you voted against Roe. And there goes the sway in public opinion. There goes the pressure from everybody else. There, all of that. So it's all about uncovering the lies around Roe v. Wade and how the biggest Supreme Court case of American history was founded on bullshit. And all of it was bullshit.
And here's the thing, and I say this often, we're not bashing her because we're speaking truth. The only time you bash somebody is when you're trying to harm a specific group, and we're not harming a specific group. We calling out the fuckery that this baby mama Taz helped initiate and cause the destruction of babies to today. Today, this been going on for since what, the 60s?
Right. Well, the decision was in 1973, but they've been having illegal abortions before that. I mean, let's just be honest about that. But that was another thing we talked about in the beginning that y'all need to pay attention to. In the beginning, one of the fake news stories was that there was 1 million illegal abortions happening in America. 1 million. So later on, and I don't know if we'll get to that today or we'll have to cover that in part 2, but you're going to find out that that number was nowhere close to true.
No. Not at all. Let's get to this next one right quick.
These are just different trinkets that I've held on to over the years. It's a big pair of gold earrings, a pair of diamond earrings that Connie gave me when I first saw one. I love them. I do. I love them. I wore them day and night.
Did Connie used to spoil you?
Of course she did. I spoiled her just as badly. I don't bring them out very often. Sometimes they remind me of good things. Sometimes they remind me of bad things, bad times.
That's her missing her.
Yeah.
Miss Connie and Miss Norma, they were in that relationship for a long, long time.
20 plus years.
When Miss Norma came to know Jesus, that meant that there's going to be some lifestyle changes. And we talked to him that homosexuality destroys those who practice it and destroy nations that approve of that behavior. And God calls it a sin. Now, that's not me being judgmental. That's just what the truth is. Am I going to just give in to my every desire? Am I going to just eat bonbons for the rest of my life and just grow up to be a blimp? Is that what, you know? And the answer is no. I want bonbons. I want that. I want that. That's just who I am. I want you to let me be me.
But bonbons are different to love.
But that's not love. That's lust. And all you have to do is go into an emergency room on Friday night and early Saturday morning to see what homosexual lust does to each other, so that they can get their own satisfaction. Then after that's done, they want more. It just doesn't stop. So you can't call that love.
She knew that if it were known that she was a lesbian, she would be kicked out.
One cannot be a practicing homosexual and a Christian at the same time. That would be a distinct impossibility.
Connie and I are both learning every day that there's certain things that we can't do that we used to.
The love is still there. It's just the sex is not. And then
Connie bad, boy. Connie bad.
She mad at the motherfucker. Hey, she mad at the motherfucker. She shit. Go ahead.
But that goes back to the whole idea behind this. You claim on one side that, you know, they were paying you to do this, blah, blah, and we're going to show that too. But yet and still, in behind closed doors, you legitimately gave up a sexual relationship with your lesbian partner. So did you really have a religious awakening?
Right. And what's her name? What's her name? Connie.
Connie.
She out here doing the Benzino at this segment.
You get in water. I fucking believe you. How could you do this to me for him?
You get baptized? How you gonna do that to me? How you gonna choose that me for him?
Hey, that's how she was looking when she came out that water.
Hell yeah, she had that Benzino epiphany. Yeah, she had withdrawals and shit for the fur burger. Yeah, let's continue.
We choose to be that way. Norma chooses to be that way.
Yeah, she
had to end her lesbian relationship and declare that she was no longer homosexual.
Hello, this is Father Frank Pavone, Director of Priests for Life. Would you welcome with me Norma McCorvey? Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, Father.
So the Jane Roe of Roe versus Wade is now a Christian and pro-life. Could you tell us how that happened?
I was desperately ashamed of being Jane Roe when I was on the other side. And I was a real hurting person. I got involved in alcohol and drugs, and I lived a lesbian lifestyle, for a number of years. But God's healed all that.
Praise the Lord. Wonderful.
But she called her mama a liar when her mama said she was those things.
Exactly. She called her mama a liar, piece of shit, two-sided bitch, and all this shit. But, she repent for her sins now. Sin. I'm just saying. So this is her boyfriend. This is
Hey, according to Norma, Norma said she was the butch in the relationship. I don't know how, but hey, I'm just saying, according to Norma, she was the butch. According to Norma, Norma said she was more butch than she was film. That's what Norma said.
Shut your goddamn ass up.
No joke.
That I then again, you know what?
Hey, it's all smoke and mirrors. This entire thing is just smoke and mirrors.
He probably, you know what? That motherfucker probably was beating Connie ass and all that shit, man. Who knows? She did try to rob her.
Because she was a thief.
Bitch, nigga. I guess. But let's continue.
With the first minute I saw her, and it's never died down. It never will.
They did not have any sexual relation after she gave her heart to Christ, as far as I know.
They're not gonna ever. Nobody's ever gonna change what I feel inside.
Connie hurt.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah, Connie hurt.
Yeah, she is hurt. Let me give her the Benzino salute.
You get in water? I can't fucking believe you. How could you do this to me for him?
Hey, maybe she was a woman in a relationship because she hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah, Connie was hurt. Connie was hurt.
Hey,
she felt betrayed.
Hey, so on that note, let me send this for Denzel to speak, for Malcolm X for Connie.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray.
Shit.
Run amok.
She hurt for real. Hey, she was really in love.
Yeah. Loved her to her deathbed. Connie loved that woman to her deathbed. For real.
Yeah. I'm in love with the nigga. She got it. She hold it. She rolling. You got baptized. Where you going? I'm in love with that nigga. Yeah, she is.
I loved her. I did. I loved her with all my heart. She was a good person. One part of me says, I hope that she's not in misery like she was. But then another part of me says, I wish I could see her. So.
Now that's the real Norma right there.
Yeah, that's the real Norma.
Yeah, that's authentic. She missed Connie. So that was her turning her life over. Like we said, she discussed that she went to that side. Even in the clip, she said, hey, they gave me the stage that the other side never gave me. I never had this opportunity before. So whether she did it for fame, whether she did it for notoriety, publicity, the front stage, or whether she did it because she had a legitimate religious awakening. Like I said, it's hard to decipher what the actual truth is, because on the religious side, you legitimately walked away from a lesbian relationship. And from what I know, she wasn't having any sexual relationships with anybody else during that 10-year period, from what I know.
You didn't want
Right. But for religious reasons, I mean, if this was a real awakening, then those are the real steps that you take. So at what point in time did this turn into, oh, I only did it for the fame or for the stardom? So you never really get the full truth out of Norma, even when you get the truth out of Norma.
Yeah, 100% facts.
So the next little segment is going to be how she actually talked about how for her, this was paid for acting. And she goes into how, she did it for this. She never really felt like that. She still supports pro-choice. All of this nonsense.
Yeah, 100%. This is some shit right here. It's crazy, crazy, crazy.
Please welcome the amazing Miss Norma McCorvey, former Jane Roe.
Former Jane Roe.
I have vowed to help do anything and everything I can do to overturn Roe versus Wade.
Norma McCorvey and a team of lawyers will argue before the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals that Roe v. Wade should be overturned.
We filed over 5,000 testimonies from women who've gone through legalized abortion. A lot of their lives have been just absolutely miserable since then.
You know, there were enough bad things happening. For that to be happening, it was one thing I just like didn't put on my plate because I couldn't do anything about it. So it was like, oh, what? It's Norma.
Hello, I'm Norma McCorvey. Today, as a born-again Christian and a faithful Catholic, I'm working to reverse Roe. Your vote could determine who the next Supreme Court justice will be, the one justice who can either vote to continue Roe as the law of the land or vote to overturn that decision. Well, I came here to show my support for life and to get arrested along with all the other saints.
Not the saints.
God bless you, Norma. We're praying for you, sister.
Norma McCorvey has been arrested.
Hopefully it'll bring a killing to a stop.
Yep. So she's definitely risking it all. Even got arrested for it.
Right. And talking about they filed 5,000 petitions or testimonies or whatever and stood up there on a national platform saying she's doing everything in her power to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Jane Roe.
Yes.
The Jane Roe.
Yes. As Cold Black says, stage arrest, LOL. I don't know, but you know, we're gonna go ahead and you know what I'm saying, end it now, you know what I'm saying. We're gonna do a part 2 for this sometime the end of the week. And you're gonna see some the rest of the video. Also, you're gonna see a video of a sonogram abortion. You're gonna see when it comes to an abortion that these babies know, they react and everything else. This through the sonogram. You know what I mean? Tell them more about that, D.
Yeah, so when we do our part 2, we're going to finish out this whole who Jane Roe really was, and then we're going to get to basically the justices' opinions and the case law that they used to determine why they voted the way they did. We're going to go on to the Griswold versus Connecticut, the Eisenstadt versus Baird, how all of those laws, every last one of them applied to the 14th Amendment, or they were gender neutral ideologies. And that's why Roe v. Wade needs to be Roe v. all. We either all get to walk away or you're forced into the same parenthood role that he's forced into. Because currently, the only protection a man has is to prevent the pregnancy. That's the contraceptives prior to. But once the pregnancy happens and she decides to bring that baby to term, you are at basically you at the discretion of her and whether or not she wants to put you on child support and make you either dad by default or whatever the case may be. So when we talk about reproductive rights, we're going to talk about all those arguments too. We're going to talk about how women want to say, well, he could have used the condom. Well, you could have used one too. And if he did use a condom, that's another thing. If he did use a condom, is condom usage not evidence of avoidance? So him using one was evidence that he was trying to avoid a pregnancy. But you get pregnant anyway because nothing's 100% except abstinence. You can still force this man into parenthood, but nobody can force her into parenthood at any before, during, and even after the pregnancy. But we're also going to talk more. Y'all remember I talked about Dr. Bernard Nathanson, how he was one of the founders of NARAL, how he was one of the ones responsible for putting out all the lies, all the misinformation to the Washington Post, New York Times, all that stuff. So you can't even trust those news sources, the media sources anymore.
No, definitely.
Right. But we're going to go into what happened after he decided to go pro-life too. And I think that's another thing that's starting to tick away at this whole Roe v. Wade. All the people, all the key players that played a role in this at some point in time went to pro-life, whether it's because they realized that, hey, this is wrong, whether they had a moral epiphany, a religious awakening, or whether, like you said, the advancements of technology. So Mr. Nathanson, when he switched over, he actually produced a video and showed for the first time in history what a sonogram, what an abortion looks like from a sonogram. So for the first time in history, we are going to see it from a baby's perspective. You're going to see the actual fetus in the womb. You're going to see how they react to it. And it's hard to watch. I will say that for any woman, it is very hard to watch. I had to turn it off a couple times when I watched it.
But I want you to watch it. I want everybody to watch
Right.
it because I want you to get a good understanding. This is what you do to the child that you say barbecue baby and shit. I'm just
Right.
yeah. I want
So
everybody.
so if a woman can take this stance to go through that process of having that abortion, exactly what's entailed in an abortion, how do you not have a moral code when it comes to aborting a baby, but all of a sudden your morality wants to kick in when it comes to putting him on child support and finances?
Yep. And that makes me wonder, is it really about this this reproductive rights and all this, or is it really about escaping responsibility and putting on somebody else to take care of that issue that you fucked up on?
But that's what it is, Mr. Palmer.
Exactly.
Abortions on demand is escaping responsibility, because we're not talking about just abortions for women who are victims. We're not talking about abortion where there's a safety or a risk to the baby's life or the mother's life. We're talking about abortions on demand. And if only little over 7% are due to medical complications or victims of incest or rape, then that means the other 93% of y'all are having abortion just because you want to negate parental responsibility. So if you negate, he ought to be able to negate too. So we're also going to talk about some of you female leaders that everybody likes to follow. We're going to talk about the Kamala Harrises. There's a Senator, Whitney Davis, that she's huge in Texas amongst women. And we're going to talk about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We're going to show clips of their speeches and how they feel about Roe. And I want y'all, when we show it, I want y'all to pay attention to what they say. They talk about this as a gender neutral topic, even though they say her or she, all that. But they talk about the rights to determine your future. That's not a right that just belongs to women. That is a right that belongs to every American citizen. So again, I say Roe v. off.
100%. 100%. As a matter of fact, I'll let my man speak on that.
Truth is what it is.
I want to give a shout out to Jay Jermaine for the $5 donation. They said, I don't know if y'all covered this already, but Roe versus Wade was based off the black male predator stereotype headed by Gloria Allred. We didn't talk about that, but we can include that. You want to do that, Dallas?
What was that? Roe versus Wade is based on a black man.
Black man.
You know what? We can talk about that a little bit too, but that's a lot of the irony between what Margaret Sanger really stood for. And now today you have historians trying to say that, oh, well, she really wasn't about just, the whole black babies. It wasn't about race. That's what they're trying to say now. But you ain't finna tell me any white woman speaking in front of a KKK rally talking about unfit individuals. You ain't finna tell me there wasn't no racial intent. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. Shout out to Jay Jermaine. Because I also want to remember we weren't going to talk too much about it, but since we're going to put on a part 2, I want to talk about it when it comes to the abortion with the black women. Now we're going to talk about the community, not just as a whole. We're going to definitely include that in. Remember, we weren't going to get too much into it, but let's get into it when we do this
stats.
part. Yeah, the stats on abortion with the black woman and the black community, because just like you said earlier, what about the 60 million aborted children? When they said they didn't want to, they want to whine and cry, they want to be responsible. I'm just saying.
Right. And we also going to discuss something else that's very important. And I think one of the reasons why we might keep seeing why they hold on to some parts of Ray, because they've been nipping away at parts of Ray. The only portion of the Roe v. Wade decision that is 100% fully intact is the 14th Amendment. And like I said, that applies to everybody. But they're discussing the age of viability. They're discussing what restrictions doctors can put in place. They're discussing all that, and they're making changes to that. But they're not making changes to the 14th Amendment clause and the Equal Protections Clause. Equal protections mean man and woman.
Yeah,
but I also want
but
I also want to talk about, a lot of people might not know, we want to talk about the products that use fetal matter, aborted fetal matter. We're going to talk about that too.
We're going to talk about all that. We're going to be able to do a whole, because that video is only got like 15 more minutes left. Then we talk about, Kamala Harris, talking her pro-life, her pro-choice, and these other politics. And we can definitely go on down to, like you say, show the sonogram of a baby getting an abortion. And being aborted. And then, like you say, we go on to all this, the 14th Amendment. We talk about all this shit. See, the thing about it, y'all, the reason why I say I do what I do, because they're not gonna go into the depth on how fucked up this system really is. They're not. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people say he don't pay him no attention. You got a fuck child with hat. He don't want to be a father. He sleep on the couch. He a deadbeat. Well, I guess she's a deadbeat too.
Fuck child support.
Shit, fuck child support for life. Facts. So I do want to ask you a question. One, how can they follow you and subscribe to you on YouTube? I'm put the link back up. Tell them what you talk about.
So yeah, they can find me on Melanated and Candid. I am one of the panelists, me and two other ladies, Roxy and Anissa. And we talk about all kind of topics, but they're geared towards how they impact the Black community. I've done a show on Roe v. Wade. We've talked about gender wars. We've talked about all these type of topics. So yeah, we talk about everything from finances to relationship to politics and how those things have an impact on the Black community. So click on the channel, go to the page, subscribe, and check out a little bit of the content. If you enjoyed this today, you'll probably enjoy a lot of the other things I got to say too. Because I pull no punches. I don't discriminate against anybody. I don't pick sides. I'm on the side of the truth, and that's it. We here to talk about the truth.
Exactly, and y'all just heard what I always say.
Truth is what it is.
Exactly.
True it is. So the link is right there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pin it to the top. You know what I'm saying? Because she's one of the reasons why a lot of stuff I got going on is going on, because she do a lot of stuff from behind the scenes. And she's definitely against this bullshit system when it comes to child support and motherfuckers running to the system for failing relationship, divorce, and because I'm mad at you and I want to teach you a lesson and hurt you. It ain't about the child. That's why I told y'all, fuck child support and get this amount of whole motherfucking thing. And I hope y'all really get the understanding that y'all out here protesting about this pro-choice, reproductive rights and all this shit when it's not even about it. The same person that they had as a martyr and a statue and the lead and all this shit, they didn't even want her to talk. They didn't give a fuck about her. They just used her dumb ass. And as you see, she jumped ship, got baptized, and decided to jump over to be pro-life.
Right. She was confused. But that's exactly what they needed. Like old girl said, Roe would not have been successful had an intelligent woman been the face of Roe v. Wade. And she's absolutely right. But yet and still, the martyr of Roe v. Wade, the person who this entire Supreme Court was named under, can't speak at a pro-choice rally. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand why they didn't want her to. But I also can understand why she would feel the way she felt. How can Jane Roe not speak at a pro-choice? Jane Roe, of all people, can't speak at a pro-choice rally? Really? So what was this really about? It was never about Jane Roe. And right. Jane Roe has done tons of interviews, and y'all can Google them. She's done tons of interviews.
You never see it. You don't
right. A lot of stuff. You gotta search for it.
The only reason why y'all see it because we putting this motherfucker up. You ain't seeing this shit. Just like they ain't gonna talk about men getting killed and going through suicide and stuff when it comes to alienation and child support. You're not gonna see the media talk about it. It gotta be something real big for it to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna go against the code. They don't want to go against the code.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And Norma went against the code. She was not the blonde hair, blue-eyed, educated, intelligent, stood straight up tall. She wasn't that polished individual, but she was exactly what they needed. Young, dumb. Exactly what they needed.
Yeah. Young and dumb. That's how they got these black watermelons out here doing the same shit, because they dumb. Educated and dumb. Most degrees are dumb. You know what I'm saying? Make 6 figures, dumb. License, dumb. Just dumb.
Yep. So while y'all out here in these streets talking about women's rights and women's choices, it ain't really never had nothing to do with that. Never. Because abortion on demand ain't got nothing to do with safety. And if we're talking about rights, the only right that matters in Roe v. Wade is the 14th Amendment that every American citizen is entitled to. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness.
And on that note, one more time, I'm going to let Denzel speak for Malcolm X.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
So what you think? You want to try to do it next weekend?
if we start later than 2, I can do it during the week. It doesn't matter to me. I just,
Oh, you
I
do
get off
it?
around about. I can do it during the week as long as it's like after a 3 o'clock ish hour, because I get off between like 2 and 3 hours. So as long as it's after that, if not, we can wait till the weekend. But that's on you.
Yeah, we gotta do a weekend because I usually go on about 2. I ain't gonna be able to do it like this. Not this week. Usually I can, but I can't do it this week.
All right, so we'll do part 2 next weekend.
Okay, so we'll do it next Saturday. Plus, y'all, after this, we're gonna be talking about some other shit. So it ain't just gonna be just about the Roe versus Wade. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, we do a lot of things behind the scenes anyway. So I'm just really trying to build this platform for free speech and calling out the bullshit that's been going on for a very long fucking time. And again, this is why I say that when it comes to these baby mama terrorists in the black community, this is why I say what I say, because they could be used for anything. They was used to vote for Joe Biden. They was used to steal Democratic ideology. They was used to be front runners for the feminist movement with that CIA bullshit. They've been used to think that the father's not important. They've been used to think that welfare was the actual father to that child. WIC, vouchers, Section 8, all this shit. They've been lying to you. They've been really lying to you. Father's not important. Now, we already know how I can and do what they mean, but y'all sit back and didn't let the man back in the home. Y'all didn't need us. And now y'all want to point the finger because you got one dude having sex with 11 women and having 33 kids. You want to say it's the black man that's killing these black women every 6 hours, but these are the women who keep having sex with this so-called killer. You can't make this shit up.
Right.
You just can't.
I'm glad you said that about the whole thing about men and this whole injustice. And one thing, I wanted to read the entire letter, but I'm just going to read a snippet of it right now. So after the Roe v. Wade decision, Mother Teresa wrote a letter to the Supreme Court, and everybody should read it. It's a heartbreaking letter, but it's all facts. He talks about how America was supposed to be the vision of what equality looks like. America stood for so much that the rest of the world looked up to and wanted to become. But she told him, you got it wrong with Roe v. Wade. And she put a section in there where she says, it was a sad infidelity to America's highest ideals when this court said that it did not matter or could not be determined when the inalienable rights, 14th Amendment, of a life began for a child inside a mother's womb. America needs no words from me to see your decision in Roe v. Wade has deformed a great nation. The so-called right to abortion has pitted mothers against their children and women against men. And that's exactly what happened. It has sown violence and discord in the heart of the most intimate human relationships, the bond between a mother and a child or a parent and a child. But it's a long letter that she wrote. It's a beautiful letter, in all honesty. But she's 100% right. What abortion has done was pitted women against their children and women against men. And she's 100% right.
And this is from Mother Teresa.
Mother Teresa.
She died like in the late 90s or in the early
I think so.
Yeah, I remember when she passed away. She was loved from all over the world, actually.
Right.
All over the world. They not gonna talk about that because that's gonna go against the code. So we gotta put that in a document. We probably got to make another document to add what we're gonna add. Please do that. And yeah, the first thing we're gonna do when we start, I want to read Mother Teresa's full letter.
Gotcha.
Want to definitely do that. So as always, Dallas D, I appreciate you deeply, and we definitely cooked today. A lot of people did not know this. Some knew, some didn't. They didn't know everything. They do some, and it need to be out here for everybody to know.
Right. Hey, I appreciate you for putting the word out there, because there are a lot of people talk about child support now, but everyone's not exposing it for exactly what it is. You got a lot of people fence riding, a lot of people trying to stay political. So yeah, I appreciate you being honest about it. You're not just calling out the black women, you're calling out men, you're calling out women of all races. So I appreciate what you do as well.
I was just going to say that most of these motherfuckers on here in this black sector, they only saying it now because they want to be able to try to take the shit and get some views because they know they top tier. So that's why what they're not going to do, they're not going to go to the depths of this shit because they know that they'll go against the code and they won't get as much in that collection plate. So I already know that I could just keep on going in my lane, fam. That's how I just keep doing what I do.
Yeah, I say fuck that code.
Yeah, fuck that code. Ain't no code. Ain't no code when it comes to niggas. So as always, Dallas D. Y'all definitely subscribe to our channel. The link right here is also pinned to the top. We're gonna cook next Saturday, and like I said, it's more to come. This shit has been a scandal. It's been a lie. It's been doing anything to destroy the black man, and destroy men as a whole, but particularly black men, because we are looked at as deadbeats, terrorists, and rapists and abusive and all this shit, but the stats says different. So yeah, shout out to you, Dallas D, and we're gonna talk.
Much love.
Much love to you. Yes. Stay in the back though.
All right, we'll do. But
Okay.
I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank y'all for listening to me, and peace to the chat.
Yes, ma'am. Let's get it. So we're not gonna hold y'all no longer. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I'll be tuning in tomorrow on some other things. We're gonna be talking about this Roe versus Wade shit next Saturday, same time, 2:00. Please subscribe to our channel. We're gonna be doing a lot of other stuff joints together outside of YouTube and outside in the streets. Cause I'll tell you, this shit is real. And these dudes and these women that talk this shit is not gonna go to the depths of this shit. They'll talk enough just to get their shine notoriety. But outside of that, if it's gonna go against that collection plate, they ain't going. So yeah, y'all be smooth, y'all be safe, and y'all already know what it is. I'm Mr. Palmer, and this conversation is over. Fuck child support. Peace. Y'all already know.
Baby mama terrorist. BMT. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama. She be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies, and doing setups. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama. She be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies, and doing setups. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama. She be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies, and doing setups. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama. She be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies, and doing setups. Round around, try to play the Romans, innocent with an evil soul. In public, wearing fake hellos, behind closed doors, she rock them horns. I moved on. Hey mama, who's watching me? Hey mama,
I don't know why I can't have no peace. You got child support. You got sole custody. You alienated me from being a father. So what the fuck you want? This some bullshit.